All right, quick intro before we get into this week's episode. We recorded, as you'll hear, before/during the first half of the Michigan-Wisconsin game. So obviously, after how crazy that finish was, wanted to add in some probably thoughts on people's minds before we hop in. What a shot by Hunter Dickinson, one of the probably the biggest villain going in college basketball right now, has his moment that he's waited for all year against a team that he publicly called scumbags. So just a juicy storyline in itself there. It keeps Michigan's tournament hopes alive. They were probably done if they lost that game at home. So now the obvious question on people's minds would be, what do they need to do, Grant, to get into the NCAA tournament? I would tell you, based on just watching college basketball my whole life, that they need to win 2 games. So that includes winning both of their away games here, which is unlikely, I would say, against Illinois and Indiana. So I would say they need to win one of those and then win one NCAA tournament game. I'm not sure if they'll need help in that case, but they're at the first 4 as of today, Monday, February 27th on Lenardi's bracket. First 4 out, they're in there. So I think they're going to be in the NCAA tournament because I think they're going to win one of those games. And if I had to pick one, I think they win this Thursday. So we'll see how cold that take may end up being. But for now, all good vibes when it comes to Michigan basketball. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to episode 111. That's when Evan would normally go. To 111.
Cheers.
Wait, that wasn't real?
That was real.
Coffee.
Liquid IV.
Gross.
With no water.
Just the powder.
Today is Sunday, February 26th. It's 12:11 p.m. You're listening to the number one sports podcast
Central Time
in the state of Michigan. And Ben is on the show for the first time in show history. Listener Ben V
submits a lot of listener questions.
What happened to Evan? There was an ice storm that rattled the state of Michigan. Friend of the Cody with a C texted us saying, "It's chaos. There are trees down everywhere." This hasn't impacted Evan, so he is Wi-Fi-less and is not on the show today. And we have Ben in person, so we thought it was a good time to have him on. Ben, please say something to the people.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's only been 2 years, and it took a major ice storm to get me on here, so thank you for that. But I'll do my best for the fill-in.
We've offered before, Ben. You just chose not to be on this podcast.
Okay.
All it took is like 500,000 people to not have power in the state of Michigan for Ben to get his wish.
But I'm
also
here.
have Cody here.
But I'm here.
In the background.
We also have listener Cody with K, who is running the board today for the podcast.
He will be doing all drops and
screening calls,
He's production,
ticket text,
all
that stuff. We're all together. Well, today's show, weekly check-ins, Michigan State versus Iowa, the Red Wings, Michigan hoops, the Lions, rumors, and any other things that come up. But we're all together today because we went on the annual ski trip. It's the 5th for me, the 6th for Alex and Ben.
4th for Cody.
This year was in Minnesota.
4th.
The guys came to me. I guess we should just hop into that. Memorable moments from the weekend, highs and lows, things that stand out to you on Sunday.
So we're skipping check-ins and going straight to the ski trip because we're
at the
together.
I feel like the check-in is the ski trip.
Well, okay. Did you do anything else this week before?
What if I did something exciting?
You saw a movie by yourself.
I went to the movies alone on Tuesday.
Nothing wrong with that.
Again,
It's a good experience.
it's now becoming a recurring thing for me.
What kind of snacks did you get?
I got a medium-sized popcorn, doused it in white cheddar per usual. And then I got Sour Patch Kids, I think.
I don't like white cheddar.
Watermelon? What would you prefer?
Butter and
Oh, I had butter on it.
normal cheddar.
I don't think there is normal
I
cheddar.
wouldn't put like cheese seasoning on popcorn. I would just do butter.
I think popcorn's pretty overrated if there's nothing on it other than butter. Like if you have just butter on your popcorn, I feel like it's okay. It's
Well,
not something I seek
I
out.
think it's
You gotta
good.
salt it a little
It's good.
I think so.
Like you seek it out.
I think like movie theater popcorn just with butter is really good.
Or is it the environment that makes it good?
Depends on what movie you're seeing.
So in this case, I saw a Marvel movie.
If you're seeing James Bond, No Time to Die, then the popcorn is like a 10.
Anyways, I saw the movie. I will not review it without Evan because Evan also saw the movie.
What was the movie?
Ant-Man Quantumania. And I know how much you hate Marvel, Grant, but I bet a lot of listeners like Marvel
Has Cody
movies.
seen that movie?
Yes, sir. Saw it on Tuesday with Cameron. Sorry.
No full names.
We don't name bleep.
Cut it.
First time. Okay.
So I saw that. I also saw Ben before the ski trip.
Really?
Yeah.
Pre-ski.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What'd you guys do?
We bonded.
Had a good time.
We watched the Netflix golf PGA Tour documentary
Ben came over.
Yep.
Yeah.
because we had a flight to catch.
I had to catch a ride with Drew and Al to the airport, so I figured it'd just be easier to meet up in the berm.
The berm.
Want to tell the listeners about the high life that is the Delta Sky Club?
Oh,
Well, as
luxury living, let me tell you.
first time in there, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, I thought it was a sham. I told Ben I didn't want to go in there. I didn't think it would be that cool. Not worth it. Free food, free booze, definitely worth it.
Why wouldn't you want to go in?
I don't know. I just think of airports. I don't like airports. I think flying, not really loving flying. Just can't imagine a club centered around flying would be cool either.
It's very relaxing. You're not sitting at the gate.
It makes
free
you feel
booze,
much
get
better.
Free food. It's a good experience.
It's way better than sitting and waiting while you listen to the flight attendants call out when you're boarding. Yeah, it's way better.
I also feel like the PA systems at airports are never really easy to hear. Like I can
No.
never hear what they're saying.
It just stresses me out almost.
And then everyone like makes a ridiculous line waiting to board because they want to be the first one out of the plane.
Speaking of that,
We
there
cut
was
the
a
whole
huge
line.
one.
Pretty much.
You guys cut it?
Well,
There was already a
comfort-wise.
huge line when we walked up there, and then we just kind of walked in.
Yeah, and then they like when it's your time at the gate, especially at DTW, everyone like lines up in the walkway. Like there's a huge just line that blocks off.
It's very chaotic.
It's
Flying's
says a lot
not-
about us.
Flying's not fun. It's not like something I like look forward to.
Has anyone ever been on a private plane?
No,
No.
That would be fun, I feel like.
That would be an awesome experience.
I'm sure it would be.
Goals. Anyways, okay. So Delta, Sky Club, Comfort Plus. You're flying back today with none of that.
No
Flying coach,
regular
no club.
peasant people flying today.
Broke
Middle
the bank
seat?
with a ski trip.
I am not middle. I'm aisle seat. I don't know what that is.
I'm window. I'm a
Oh,
window
man,
seat
so
guy.
you're two people inside of you. that
I have
to
no
get
one.
out.
No one in my middle seat.
Oh.
Middle seat open at the moment.
You should
That's
just
the
drop
way
your
to do it.
backpack around that seat once the
I'm gonna
plane
switch
takes
to.
off. So.
I'm gonna switch to your middle seat so you don't have that luxury.
That's okay. Good
Then
conversation.
then I'm gonna talk to you for 2 hours straight.
Is that what I did to you?
No.
So we got in here. Cody and I had Raisin Canes. It was fantastic.
And almost refused to pick us up from the airport.
No, that never happened. Ben brought his skis for the ski trip, which makes sense. Alex did do us a favor, I'd say, in the long run by not bringing his skis. But he just got back from Vermont and was already kind of not in on the ski trip to begin with in
Not
terms of
totally
skiing.
true, but
Um,
it was a hassle for me to bring mine. As I saw, it was a huge hassle for Ben to bring his.
They were a pain, but saved me money on the rentals. And why own skis if you're not going to use them?
It's a great point.
Thursday was just classic Midwest behavior. Drinking, not a lot. Some drinking, some cards. Only one game of euchre.
Some
Hammered
anger.
the under. Some anger
Yeah.
on Thursday.
About the rules of Grant's card games.
I had some interesting rules for the game of golf, I was told. But that was like the last game of the night, so we were already winding
was
down
fine.
anyways. It was all right.
It wasn't that different, so
It was
I mean-
better than your game.
Oh,
Was it?
it's not my,
yeah, that game.
Yeah.
that's not my game.
You
That game made
recommended
no
and
sense.
made us
that
play.
game made Cody mad because it made no sense.
You
We
told
had to
us not to
change how
play
the
our
rules
cards.
worked.
I'm just telling you how I was taught how to play. I played it like twice. And I was like, well, this is Grant's like, let's play a game that makes you drink.
And that's
this
twice
game
too
makes
many
you drink.
times.
It did.
So I did what I was told.
What do we have on the first night? The Truly Margarita Pack and
Some
Beers.
Blue Moons.
the Big Deal Brewing and Blue Moon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice Friday.
Yeah. Thursday.
You had a whiskey and Coke as well, I think, didn't you?
Oh.
And a Red Bull.
Jeez.
No,
You're all
not
over the
night one.
place.
Save that. Friday. What did we do?
We went to the Mall of America.
We went to MOA.
We putt-putted.
We played putt-putt at Moose Mountain. Alex.
Tell the results, Grant.
No, you're for it.
Well, I won. Champion. Putt-putt of Mall of America champion. What was the course called?
Moose Mountain Adventure Golf.
Moose Mountain. So Moose Mountain champion.
Moose Mountain.
It was all right.
I think it was a nice putt-putt course.
It's hard.
It was actually difficult. That was probably the more difficult putt-putt place I've golfed.
Carrying your coats while you golf stinks.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't wear winter coats to the mall in the winter.
It was kind
You're
of
going to
cool.
putt-putt.
It's kind of cool being on the third story too and like looking down at the whole mall while putt-putting. Different experience there.
Agreed.
We can talk about how Ben
Oh.
is the only one that hasn't won in a putt-putt competition against us.
That is
Out of
true.
2?
Grant won the in-apartment putt-putt challenge.
Oh, you're counting that?
He did
Come on.
he did cheat, but he won. Cody won last year's summer putt-putt challenge in the berm area, and then I won this one. So, Ben, you're the only loser. How does it feel?
Well, we've only played 3 times, so give me a 4th try. Because
Yeah, but I think you finished third or worst every time.
Do you guys view me?
I think you might be right.
Do you guys view me as the Patrick Reed of indoor apartment golf?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Find a way to
man.
cheat.
I view you
I hate that.
as
I need to change that stereotype.
something lower than the Corn Ferry Tour.
You're too competitive. You have to cheat.
It's
your
unfortunate.
friends.
I don't want to be
In
like
those
Patrick
things.
Reed.
Well,
You cheat in
that's a
everything. though.
Some people
No.
call me Tiger Woods because of my back problems this weekend, and I just didn't come to show up. So that's what happened. But I
You had
did
ab
for-
pain too.
and abdominal pain from falling.
Let's not get off topic here.
Yeah.
Grant cheated several times in that first indoor putt-putt. And
But we're
cheats
not
in-
living in the past.
and
about
cheats
Moose
in
Mountain.
all
That was like
sports.
2 years ago. Moose Mountain, I played it straight up. I did not cheat.
straight
whatsoever.
up, and you didn't win because of it.
I hit it out of bounds so many times.
And we didn't call your penalties.
How many did you win?
Yes, we did.
Oh, we counted penalties.
Yeah.
Good. I
was
didn't get any, so I wouldn't know.
I was dropping 3 every time.
For reference, I shot a 2 over.
Ben, you just missed a lot of 3-foot
I didn't
sliders.
expect break. There was a lot of break when you couldn't even read it.
Well, the putters were bad because the putter, like the
No sight line.
pole went in the middle.
Yeah.
Usually, like at,
I'm not a center shaft guy.
at Stone Mountain, Speed Mountain, Stone
I
Mountain.
can tell you last time I played
It's
there.
like the it's a normal putter where the pole's like at the end, and then you actually have a sight line.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mallet. We
So, you
didn't
know,
have,
the circumstances.
Center shaft.
The
It was
tools I
a
using.
Mickey Mouse title that you had. It was a tough course, but the
Yeah.
putters were weird.
Let's say that's why. Because I beat everybody by several strokes, and it wasn't really close.
It was closer than I thought. I gave up
a hole in one on 16 really ended
That was
it.
clutch.
Yeah,
And
looking
granted, a
back,
5-stroke difference in putt-putt is quite a big difference.
It was 4.
5.
It was 37-41. I thought.
I didn't shoot a 37.
What did you shoot?
I shot a 42, and you shot
Yeah, I don't know where you pulled those
47.
numbers.
It was a par 40. I shot a 42.
Shot a 57. Not a big deal.
I
Pretty
came
good.
in last. I was 59, I think.
59 for the reigning champ. You
We
really
had
got
Shake Shack. That was good.
I think it was overrated.
I've had a lot of fries this
The
week.
shake
That
was
just
good.
hit me.
The shake was good, but I thought the food was.
The shake
Okay.
was thick.
The fries were
Had good
terrible.
flavor. Fries.
Crinkle cut fries are the worst.
That's what we
fries
learned
in
this week, and we
America.
should say about Raising
Fries
Cane's.
all around suck.
Ban crinkle cut fries.
Why is it
Raising
the
Cane's
texture?
ban.
Is it the texture?
They're
of the
soft.
taste?
They're
What is-
mushy.
They're
not
always
crispy.
mushy. They're never crispy.
Yeah. Not
Crinkle
a fan.
cut fries should not.
Crinkle cut fries.
Are you bleeping that?
Yeah. Trying to loosen it up. Then what did we do? We walked around.
Too long.
Oh,
Bowling.
Mall of America in Minnesota, only one store has ski goggles. I mean, that makes 0 sense to me. We went to North Face.
2.
No ski goggles.
Oakley.
Oakley. Did they have them there, though?
Oakley
Yeah,
was
but it's
$200.
like 200.
And he was like, our lowest pair is roughly $200.
That guy meant well.
And then we went to Columbia, got 40% off.
I got them free because I found the money.
Yes, Cody did
Probably
have good
stole
luck at
money
the
from a
airport coming.
Hey, create your own luck.
So Cody got ski goggles.
It's too hot. That's what I learned as well. A bad brand.
was very
hot.
warm.
It's no Starbucks. Sorry. That coffee sucks.
Anyways, we left the mall with coffees in hand that we really
Bad
did not
ones.
drink. And then we drove home for a pit stop, and then we went to Cedarvale Lanes bowling. And this bowling alley was sweet.
Nice establishment.
Stand up.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well,
You didn't like
I
it
believe
then?
it was mixed.
I think
like
all
the
bowling
stand-up
alleys
tables.
look
The
pretty
stand-up
much the
table,
same.
and you're
The stand-up
involved
table
with
is
the whole group, unlike the local bowling alleys in Tecumseh. No,
Should they have had half the lane shut down? No.
They crammed everybody onto one
that part
side.
was weird.
But it was fine. We got to meet our neighbors. One was a Packers fan. Whatever. It's okay. We bowled 4 games.
Yep.
Ben and I tied
Yep.
Yeah.
for like net score over 4. High score was 172 from Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Lowest was a 114.
Tied with Ben.
Also, Cody.
Bye, Cody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're pretty good bowlers, honestly. No one had under 100.
I'm not very good.
Should I say average?
I'd say average. Is...
Hell, you
But
started
when we
strong.
looked around, I mean, I don't know if you guys screen peeked other people's, but they were
No,
not
no, we
bowling.
were the best group
Yeah.
bowling.
I think
in
we were
that
like the
alley.
best group bowling there.
Honestly, give me 3 months, I'll throw 300.
If I practice every day.
We'll have to get to that. Bowling will come up later in the recap. But yeah, I mean, it was. I learned a takeaway. I started the day using a 10. It was terrible. Miles per hour in bowling is overrated. Throw a heavier ball if you can.
Yeah, I agree.
I never really tried that. I went from 11 to a 12. and I
You
didn't
should have
see
tried
much
the
difference.
14 and just like.
14's nice.
I wasn't even
It's a
throwing it
perfect
hard.
way.
Just throw it straight down the lane. It
That's
does a
exactly
lot of
right.
work.
My
for you.
technique is bad and caused a lot of pain in my wrists, so I didn't think a heavier ball would make that better.
If you do bowl once a year, you get oddly sore.
Yeah.
And like your
I am
wrist
feeling
area.
it.
UCL.
I'm feeling it right
here.
now. Just hit me today.
You're still sore from that?
Yes. I don't bowl much.
Well, neither do we.
What else did we do? That we drink Miller Light pitchers there.
Miller
So
Lite
that's
was
an
the
Sponsored by
theme
Miller
of the
for the
weekend.
Which no one even likes it in this.
Well, I
group,
think
so
a
it's
different
kinda weird.
beer that we'll get to supplanted Miller Light.
No, Grant, only you think that. You love that beer?
All I'm going to say
It
is
grew
this
on me.
weekend, I came in not liking Labatt and Miller Lite, and I drank both those pretty heavily, and it was fantastic that weekend.
Oh, he didn't say the one I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know. We're talking about that
Last
terrible
night.
beer that Grant bought last
Oh,
night.
Schmitz.
Really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but I'd still give it less than... Grant, you gave it a 9.0.
Yeah, 9
I gave it a
flat.
6.
Schmitz is a wannabe hams, so I can't believe you.
Hams is
Ooh,
bad.
I know,
Hams
that's my
is
point.
Schmitz is better.
bad.
I put it on the level of Busch Light, which is like,
Wow.
it's a good beer to have just to drink a lot, but it's not like a Miller or a Coors or like the name brands.
The Coors is terrible, so let's not bring them into this.
Cody likes scores. I don't.
I drink Coors a lot.
You like drinking water?
Evan's probably gonna laugh at this conversation and delete it all just because he's a big Busch Light guy. But it's close to Busch Light. Schmitz.
Some say better.
They had a small
Some
hint at
need
the
me.
end, like some
I think
sort of
Busch Light is
aftertaste
trending
of it.
down, but that's another conversation.
Great commercial.
Maybe you're
Great
just
logo.
growing up. I feel like Busch Light is a college tailgate beer.
But
Feels
then you
bad
told me the
talking
other
about
day you
Busch Light without
still
that
love
on
it
here.
and it's growing for
I
you.
feel dirty.
I still
Fuming
yeah, I
if you
still-
listening.
Maybe I need to grow up.
So we bowled. We came home. We listened to possibly the best Power Hour mix of all time.
Incredible.
I would like
Yeah.
to try to find it to shout it out, but it has a Mario logo and it has a Mario
Let me see if I can.
theme song.
It was on my YouTube, I believe.
The mashups, they were
Whoa, there's
very
a YouTube
creative.
thumbnail that just crossed my feed that took my breath away.
Okay.
Anyways, was it like best Power Hour?
Is there a way to like view your YouTube history?
Oh yeah,
Yes, recents.
yeah. We were on your account.
How does one?
Just find it and like
We watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Just tweet it
this
out on
weekend
the
about
account.
sports moments.
Shoot,
tweet the link on your account.
best Power Hour Mario. I got it.
No.
Mashup Power Hour by Titus Jones. I can send the link. I found it. I think this is it. It was great. It was a lot of awesome mixes. It had a great little sound to drink.
Yep, Mashup Power Hour, Titus Jones.
Yeah.
Oddly, a lot of Britney Spears, which was kind of different.
A lot of Britney Spears, a lot of Christina Aguilera.
But it worked.
It was cool because they had different names for each of the mashups, and they had all the artists that were in it at the bottom. It was very fun. We were drinking Michelob Ultras,
Oh, I forgot about that.
seltzers then.
There was 12 to begin.
Yeah.
It lasted 12 minutes, maybe.
It went fast because
Well, you got shotgun.
because the Power Hour told you how many beers should be drank, would put a lot of pressure on all of us. Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
What was
trying to
the
keep
final
it-
number when the video ends?
Like
12?
I want to say, no, not 12.
It
No,
should
was,
be
it
a-
was like 6.
it should be a
It was over 6.
it should be a
Wasn't it like 7.5? It was like a
5?
weird number.
like divisible by 60.
There was a
like that.
half at the end of it. I think it was 7.5.
That's 12.
12.
Your math is that bad? 60 divided by 5?
No, I say it could have been 5 beers, could have been 12 beers, but it has to be divisible by 60.
Just look. Whoa.
Rookie mistake.
What else did we drink? It was just Michelob's, wasn't it?
No, we had Miller.
We had
We
Miller.
had Miller too.
We had a case of
Because we
Miller.
housed the
Because we went to whatchamacallit, and that's when Cody said,
What is
what
Deuce?
does Deuce say?
7.125 beers drank during that mashup and 57 shots taken.
If you were taking shots.
So 7.25. I said 7.
Do you think anyone's ever done that?
as a group.
You would die.
I know,
as
as
a-
a group.
as a
Yeah, I
group.
think it's a
But
group.
still.
That's over.
You need a big
that's
group.
Over 10 shots a person, and that's a fifth is 13.
They didn't
shots.
say the group was our group of 4.
Yeah, if we did it, we'd be.
It'd be like a group of 10.
We were power houring, and then the plan was to Uber to downtown. We had a nice man named Haji.
For those,
Oh, no, that's
no,
his
it's
government.
Haji.
That's his government name. Because I looked back at the receipt and it was like Saeed, and that's when he said, "You want my government name?" So he probably doesn't want this out there, but he has
Yeah,
no
we'd
idea who we
expose
are. So
I bet he's a listener.
Had a great
Haji?
conversation until I opened the door and he yelled at me.
Cody opened up the door to
downtown
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Just
We got some
I was
nasty
getting out.
looks from other cars.
Oh,
You were getting out. We were driving.
yeah, I thought you said a
No,
spit.
I thought we were there.
So Cody tried to get out in a moving car,
In
and
the
the
snow.
Uber driver got very angry.
Snowy situation. Like we had built up great rapport.
Not angry,
like he told us very,
disappointed.
very intimate things about his life, and it went metaphorically out the door
I
in
broke
a
his
second.
trust. I broke his trust.
Nice work.
And then it was more like, he means well. Like he's a good guy. Don't be mad at Cody. He's like, well, we don't care. Haji. Like you're the one that's getting mad. Then we went to Sneaky Pete's.
For those who have listened before, I did mention how Grant was afraid to go downtown Minneapolis. He did end up going, so shout out Grant for doing that.
Well, that part you said it because Haji made it sound like it was pretty dangerous.
He did say it's like a little sketchy.
He
It's
made it
people
sound
pulling
like
down and everything. It was
we
just-
were in grave danger by Cody opening a door at a stoplight, which
He did.
was frightening. We went to Sneaky Pete's. It was dead. It was like 9 p.m. at the time we got there. We played Big Buck Hunter for probably like an hour and a half.
And it was fun.
Because I put in a $10 bill and didn't realize how many credits that gave me, and then I couldn't walk away from the machine.
It's an addicting game. If you can get one in your house, you should.
The key is you gotta reload fast.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
you
kind of
just- you
spam.
gotta
Your
bang on.
accuracy is not good.
That's a lie.
Your accuracy at one point
You
was
gotta
20%.
Pump hard. And what?
Well, then,
Aim.
Cody's on
No,
a
I'm
stripper
s-
pole.
no.
yeah,
Night.
no, I don't
Cody
know how
lit
much
up-
detail
Cody
Cody
danced.
wants on
Cody
that,
danced.
but
We learned something about Cody.
Cody
he's
cut a
great
rug.
dancer.
he was feeling it.
I always said that Cody and I hit a transition to Run DMC. It was one of the better transition
They did it
dances of all
so
time.
in sync. I wish many more people would have witnessed that.
The
It was
bar
cool.
started to fill up. There was a weird moment that kind of was our sign from God that we should get out of there.
Can we
I'm not
say
going
it
to
on the
say that
pod?
out loud.
Can we?
I'll say it and bleep it, but it was
When the couple was dancing and then
was
there's a
too-
girl in the front. I don't know if you two saw
I
that,
don't
but
think I saw that.
Grant and I looked at each other like it was time to go. We saw
I
that.
thought it was time to go when I fell off the stripper pole.
no, we were still getting
That's where
started
my
at that point.
$25 went. I bought those drinks at the front station.
The high noon.
Dude,
Yes.
it only took me 2 days.
That's
to
actually
read.
really. I don't know if that was good or bad, but I think that was a genius plan to put that cooler right there when you
It
walk in.
was. Yeah.
It was.
Okay.
It was probably overpriced,
The
but
reason we went there is because that's where Evan and I went during the Final Four.
during the game.
During the game.
Oh, we
And
were
they
at the
had,
game.
They had those stations everywhere, and it was fantastic because you didn't have to go to the bar.
That's sweet. Is that cash only though at those?
No.
Oh wow.
It just
Amazing.
worked out better.
Then we walked to Cowboy Jack's, which is one of the more popular bars I would say downtown Minneapolis. It was more of a college
It's a lot of college kids there.
vibe. Nashville reminded me of Nashville. We went upstairs and there was live music. Shout out to Whiskey Stone, possibly the next Lady Antebellum. Still to be determined. They
Remember
need
that
better
name.
acoustics.
Mark
Unlikely.
that name down, because come back to it in 2 years.
Watching the
they're gonna
video
be big.
back, their vocals sounded much worse. On the
The
video.
guy that played bass on the far left did nothing.
He was just
Other
there.
than when he sang, he was just a freeloader.
He didn't do anything.
The
The
drummer,
drummer was
The
awesome.
drummer-
carried.
yeah.
Drummer was the
He's-
band.
He was a singer.
he was
too.
the. I would say the
He
second
sang a couple
singer.
songs.
The
The
second
drummer
singer.
mimicked David Grohl.
The lead singer didn't
Yeah.
even sing half the songs. So
Is that the girl?
Yes.
She's probably the lead singer.
Yeah.
She didn't play an instrument.
No. She's just there. Morale.
Her and the other guitarist next to her, the bigger guy, he was good. And then the drummer was good. And I would say like the guys on the ends, I don't really know what they did.
One guy played keyboard a little bit.
But I never can hear a bass guitar. That's just me. I don't really ever hear that when I hear people
Oh, it's
playing.
the rhythmic instrument. They just keep the rhythm
Keeps
of the
on
song.
pace.
Exactly. So
but yeah, their instruments were louder than the vocals a lot of the time. It was kind of hard to hear what they were even saying.
Yeah.
But they got people going. They had good energy.
It was cool for a bit.
You and Cody showed great self-growth because there was a guy that touched your Adam's apple.
Yep. A dude looking for trouble. Bumped up into me. Flicked my Adam's apple for no reason.
crazy. Just looking for a fight.
He was 22 years old.
Typically, I get a little more angry in those situations, but I showed great restraint. I think that's a sign of maturity. It's same with the Busch Light decreasing in my life. So,
Well, because then he came up
Another
to me
ricochet
afterwards.
shot at Busch Light.
Look at you.
He came up to me afterwards, and I took him to the bar to get him away from both of us.
yeah. So, good growth.
And then it was getting, I don't know, close to 1 a.m., past 1 a.m. Like, we should probably leave. Ben got us whiskey Sprites. I think that's the only thing anyone drank it there. Unless you were still drinking then. I feel like whiskey Sprite was like the only thing.
No, I was drinking heavily.
I can't tell you.
Cody had some beers.
I think I just nursed the whiskey Sprite for like 2 hours when we were there.
Yeah, I had a water as well. That whiskey Sprite was very not good.
That was the only drink I've ever gotten bought and never drank.
Last time I bought.
Oh, you have a Michelob waiting for you. That kid
Went to buy me a Michelob. His roommate.
Who saved the day. He eased tensions between.
He came
the
up to
two
me. He's like, "I'm
parties.
sorry, and I will buy you a Michelob." He went to buy me a Michelob, and Grant's like, "It's time to go." So I left. And
And then you're like, no, dude, I have a Michelob.
I was like, "I wonder what that guy did with that Michelob. Wonder if he's now the tension's probably boiled over. He probably doesn't like us anymore. Probably
You
wants us
disregarded his olive branch. You just.
No, I told Grant I was
Means a
waiting.
Michelob.
And Grant wouldn't let me wait. And then we couldn't get an Uber for 45 minutes.
Which not,
in
Cody and Ben made a bad mistake of going outside because
It
they
was
couldn't
bad
get back
until we
in.
saw some girls that we talked to. It was nice.
You guys were passing the time outside. And
They wouldn't let him back in, and it was very cold out.
I feel like that should be illegal in Minnesota. I'm going to say that right now. It gets really cold out here, and if you have somebody go outside and then not allow them back in while they're waiting for their ride, that is ridiculous because they could freeze to death.
My
It's a
only
liability.
counter would be we told you guys not to go outside. So you didn't have to go out there.
I was going to find Ben.
Alex got mad at me because he said I gave up
Thank
on
you.
trying to get
Grant
home.
did. I think that is underselling what happened. Grant, to the point.
I did hit a low point in that.
We
bar.
got
I was
home
like,
at-
I just said to myself, like, we're not getting home. Because he had both our phones up, running Uber and Lyft at the same time, and they canceled 6 times.
They
at
would
least.
get 0.3 miles away and cancel.
Like, he was out front, and then was like, nope. And then I was like, we are not going home. Like, I don't know what
wonder
we're going
why.
to do. We're gonna
Grant
take
looked
the
at me
bus.
and said, "We're never getting back," and closed his eyes and
I just
slouched
was like
down.
this. I was
into
like,
the
I
booth.
started looking around the room for places to sleep in Cowboy Jacks.
Cody and Ben were outside at that point, so it would.
And then they
cold night
4
for you
times
guys.
your rate. Poor Alex almost spent $100 on a lift to get home.
They quadded it and said, "This is your only way to get home." So I just
Couldn't
paid it.
tell you a thing about that car ride. Other than
I
waking
had
up
to
at the
fall
end.
asleep.
We
I
all
tried to
slept
stay
except for
awake.
Alex.
I tried to stay awake at shotgun to make sure that we did not get kidnapped. Luckily, we didn't.
He could have driven us anywhere.
He was a nice guy. He was
Think about the
bumping
TikTok
Travis
I
Scott.
sent to you guys going into this weekend. We were just sitting duck.
You guys were,
Ducks.
but I'm responsible.
Thanks,
Another
You're very
sign
mature.
of growth this weekend.
and no Busch Light.
I was responsible until we got canceled 6 times, and then I completely gave up. Like I
You
said.
turned puddle. You went into the puddle mentality.
We made it back. I don't remember falling asleep really,
No.
and then
Just kind of woke up next day. We don't need to
Then
talk
woke
about
up the
it.
next day.
Some people were more hungover
Yeah,
than
no.
others.
There were some hangovers.
I got about 15 hours of sleep. I'll just say that.
15 hours.
I was out all morning
Okay.
until we left for the ski trip.
We can't say Ben was the 2021 version of Cody for the ski trip.
Mistakes were made.
We always go too hard the night before. The night before the Friday, Cody said we were not drinking that hard Friday.
We should have skied Friday.
Yeah.
Looking back. And then
Yeah,
blown it out on
probably.
Friday night like we did. We have our plan every year.
I don't know. I
backwards.
kind of like just waking up hungover, feeling sorry for myself that I have to go ski.
I don't. I think it's worse. I'd rather ski like with
We
a clean
forced
bill of
ourselves
health.
to
Well,
go
it's
skiing.
kind of skiing 2 days next year.
Well,
like
we're
a
going to
legit
beef up
trip.
the trip next year quite a bit. Potentially.
We've ramped up the ski trip each year. So
Time
we
for the
have to
big
go,
jump.
actually travel to the big mountains.
And then we got up. We were moving slow.
Slow is an
You know what it
understatement.
was? I think it was you. Someone looked up and was like, "Oh, it's open till 9 p.m."
I did. I looked
We
it
have
up. They're
all
open
day.
till
Like it was
late.
in our minds. Like yeah, which we did almost ski till 9 p.m. So I guess it was.
We didn't get back till like 9:30.
And then there was at one point in the morning where we were like, the Michigan State game starts in a half hour. What if we just watch the first half? Ben was still catching some Z's.
And if it's close, we'll see what happens.
Turns out it was a phenomenal first half. So we looked at each other and was like, well, it's open till 9 p.m. We could just watch the second half. And then the day was turned on its head. There's no other way to say it. It was a wild experience. Maybe we should get into specifics of the game later and then just skip to skiing for now. So we get to the ski resort. It's a zoo. There's 15 parking lots.
Confusing structure.
We finally got a spot next to a rental building, which was huge. We got our skis rather easily, I would say. And we were off. We went, as far as we could to the right until there was black diamonds. And then I was like, I don't really want to go down that right now. And then
burgers, beers, and sports.
So, we got talking on this lift, like, what if we just ate food? And we're like, yeah.
Did we
just
like
get a burger and a beer?
What was it, like 3 runs before we took a break?
4 runs.
4 runs
for 2 hours.
We got to the ski place at like 2:30. Did 4 runs. Got back out at like 6.
Considered not even going back out.
No, because
there was
a patio party. Like they were trying to keep us in there.
There was real talk of why did we go skiing yesterday, but we did really close.
Once we got to the Highlands area at night. Not a very well lit place.
No, night skiing was tough.
What would you guys give that mountain on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean,
the birds are out in numbers.
It wasn't that tall of a mountain. I mean, it's the
tallest one we've ever been on.
It was very similar to Michigan.
Not Alex.
Yeah, I know, but when you're like kind of traveling, you have higher expectations. And
personally, it was the best snow, best pow pow.
Real pow pow.
Yeah, real pow pow, not homemade ice.
It was weird though. It wasn't
this trip wasn't even supposed to happen earlier.
So that ties into the listener question: Minnesota POW or Michigan POW? Everyone in consensus that they wanted.
My best experience with POW was at Cabernet, Michigan, when I went with my college friends. There was dumping as I skied.
So your favorite ski trip is without us?
Correct. No, I was
correct. No, it is
conditions. Like the snow was up to my shins. I couldn't see my skis as I skied. That was awesome because you feel like you can't fall because it's so like comforting around you.
Interesting.
Yeah, I went like 20 miles an hour.
I think the snow's the same to answer that question.
It wasn't really
just
icy
depends
until night. It was a little icy.
Just depends if it snows.
I thought the weather was perfect though. It was like 25, sunny.
Their lift systems are atrocious.
Really bad. Really.
Too many merging lanes. We got cut off 1,000 times.
And that lift came in hot.
Only 2-seaters.
Smacks you right in the back when you get on it.
The 2-seater
lift.
lift.
We talk about how some little kid called me Jerry because I was going slow and he went right by me and stared me down and called me Jerry.
Oh,
is Jerry the male version of
Karen? Yeah, like a noob.
Yeah,
on the
he called me
mountain.
Jerry. He's like, Jerry, and put his hands up and looked at me. And I'm like,
I didn't know Karen and Jerry were the same.
Is that like a Rick and is that a shot at Rick and Morty?
I'd never heard of this Jerry term until right now.
Yeah,
and that's way funnier than when you told me in the moment because I thought he just confused you for his friend Jerry.
Within the ski industry, a Jerry, otherwise known as a gaper, a Joey, a Gorb, etc., is someone, a skier or snowboarder, doing a boneheaded move. My personal definition of a Jerry is an individual who exhibits a true lack of understanding for their sport or for life in general.
Okay,
I just roasted you.
I didn't grow up on
and you didn't even understand the roast either.
Jerry!
Poor Jerry, our producer today.
Oh man!
That's
yeah, then
a
kid cut us off, and I said, "Go ahead, buddy. Like, trying to be nice." And he looked back at me like, "How dare I even?"
Shut up, Jerry.
Grant got bullied by a 12-year-old.
Just absolutely
quite
bullied.
Funny, actually.
Karma for when Grant took out a 12-year-old on one of our ski trips before.
I do understand the coolness that they have, like the car that they can scan, but that seems like such a hassle than to just like clip something on that everyone can see. So that was also weird.
Don't they have to scan those too, though? The clips?
No,
they do the same scanning thing in Brighton. Any Vail-owned property.
But like when we went to Cabernet, they just look at it. You just have it exposed, and they just glance at it.
I didn't mind it, but
Cabernet's ski system.
You love Cabernet way too
much. And honestly,
much.
I think they have the best run still. Like that long run we did the race game on. Like I think
Cabernet was a great mountain.
This one had a cool tunnel though. I've never been in a tunnel until now.
It was a little scary. If you fall in it, the person behind you.
No black diamonds were hit, so that's kind of soft.
There was only 4 to begin with.
We all kind of felt, Cody and I would say are the worst 2 of the group, and we didn't really feel that uncomfortable the whole time, so we didn't really push ourselves, but we had a good time.
Cody impressed me though.
I'll give myself.
I'll give you credit.
You looked really smooth.
Cody had a nice hockey stop. I'm like, is that Cody?
Cody can stop.
Oh, man.
See, that's where I fell short. I did not try to.
Can we preface that though? I watched a lot of Instagram reels about getting better at skiing.
You're watching film.
That makes me think of another point.
You were in the
I
lab.
get on the first live for the day with Cody. He goes, I've been watching a lot of videos about people fall out of these. And I was like, about to pull the lap bar down. Because I was like, that makes me feel horrendous.
There's nothing wrong with pulling that down.
Cody was like watching videos
that's
of
a
people
Jerry.
breaking their legs.
No, it's okay to do.
But I didn't wear a helmet, which people watch. I
got roasted for not wearing a
Ben,
helmet.
you should wear a helmet.
I will when we go to Vermont, but that hill was not big enough to wear a helmet.
That's also true.
That's accurate. But it's also like driving a car where there's just so many Jerrys around you. You have no idea what's about to
Yeah,
happen.
you never know when a Jerry's going
I'm
to
just
come
so
from 50
nimble
yards
and
to your
agile.
left.
Apparently, I can't be a leader because I go too slow.
You do.
I didn't realize in the past how slow you went, and then this weekend I realized really slow.
You used to pizza down the whole mountain, though, and you've gotten away from that. You just maneuver back and forth.
You used to go pretty fast, I thought, because you stunk at slowing down.
Yeah.
Grant pizza's like he's carving, but he's still pizzing.
He's just full this the whole
Just
way.
let the mountain take you, man.
You gotta let the skis work, Grant.
That's how you get better at like hard stopping. Is
You have
actually
to
learn how
have
to
some
carve.
speed.
The
I
worst
need
part
to go
about it
somewhere
is
in like greens by myself and just try to like.
you need more speed, actually.
But I need to go on like a more wide open, like green or blue, and just try the craft of it, and then like fall a couple times. Like, okay, I can't do that
It's all about just committing to it.
right now. I'm just like in a group of 4. And I
Are
don't
you
wanna
ready
fall
for
down.
Vermont? I gotta ask you that. Are you
Yeah,
ready
I'm
for-
under the impression they're very long and smooth.
Are they smooth? I feel like they wouldn't be smooth. They're long for sure.
Grant's gonna need some practice. If we're being honest.
Gonna need some jump cuts.
But a green's a green, just a long green.
Green's a green.
I'm under the impression that like when you go out west or to Vermont, the highest level, like the intensity is very high. But if you're just doing a green or a blue, it's not that different. It's just way longer.
My
That's my
thoughts
thought,
are
but I could be
this,
way wrong.
As someone who's
The only person
done
who's
it,
gone to Vermont, we should hear out.
this is how it goes.
Do we take his opinion?
No.
A blue here
Yeah.
or in Michigan is a green in Vermont.
So a black diamond here is a blue in Vermont as well.
Correct. That's how the levels work.
But they're not just straight up and down like our blacks. It's
No,
still-
there's trails and
That's
they're
my
long
thought.
and you're
That's
going
my
and
thought.
there's like flat
Cruisers.
spots and then down spots. But
there aren't lines of people right at the bottom of the hill waiting to get hit.
In a parking lot with cars that are just right there.
Yeah, that whole system was just
that, yes,
Odd.
it is different. And the best part about it is the runs are long enough where you can get in a rhythm and practice and learn how to get better.
Sounds like what I need.
Something that Grant needs.
I might come out of this looking like Shaun White on skis.
When I went, my dad said after the first day, he's like, you'll be surprised how much you improve after multiple days skiing here compared to going to.
Did you feel like you
Right.
improved?
Yeah, quite a bit, I'd say.
Ski boots still suck. They really hurt your feet.
Mm-hmm.
I had no feet problems for the first time ever.
Yeah,
I was
got
actually
over that.
concerned about my
Remember
left
the
foot.
one? Was it Cabernet
Circulation.
when you had to go in because your feet were like numb?
Yeah, you had a really bad
I
experience.
always have bad problems. The same thing happened to me in Vermont. My feet just go
Bad
straight up.
digestion.
You just have bad feet.
Yeah, I do.
Bad circulation.
Also true. I have weird shaped feet, a bunch of feet problems. Now, I will say I had looser boots that were probably too big for me. It's probably why my feet didn't hurt. And it did make my skis quite wobbly.
I got
So
looser
you're
boots
saying
this
you
time. It
can't
was
sell
fantastic.
feet pics on OnlyFans.
I don't know. There's always someone out there looking for feet.
This might not be the right advice. This might be a
I'll buy.
Jerry comment, but I think after my experience, you should round up in ski boot size because I tried on 10s. I'm a 10.5. I tried on 10s. I was like, ooh, I feel like they're supposed to be tight, but I did 11s. Felt way better.
Comfort depends. Depends what if you want to
Then
be
just make the
good.
buckles tight.
As someone who's done both, my own ski boots that I own are very tight,
Mm,
and I ski way better with them.
mm.
But the comfort of
What
yesterday
if it's
was
just
nice.
the actual skis, not the boots?
What?
Like, what if it's not about how tight the boots are? What if it's just your skis are made of a better carbon fiber and they're skinny?
My boots are just nicer than the rental boots as well.
I think that's the
Tight
same.
boots gives you more control.
Yeah, I don't think I was ready to go down a black diamond because of my boots.
My
I
boots
think
were
it's
too
the- I
loose
think
to
it's
like really
the
get
skis
after.
too, though, because the skis just look like shovels when you rent them.
The rental skis at this place were very poor.
But they're the standard. They're always the head brand, and they're always around like
Not in big places.
So then we got done with the mountain. Oh, the food there was amazing. It was the best place. It was the best part of the whole day. The hot maple chicken sandwich.
Your sandwich
I wish
was
I got
very
that.
good. I wish I would have gotten that. I'm disappointed I didn't.
We
The
discussed
cowboy burger, very
We discussed
sticky.
what's easier to get a hole-in-one or bowling 300 for 2 hours, roughly?
We're not going to get into that too much.
We can't get into it too much.
The people answered anyway. Check the polls.
Bowling did
Bowling
win.
won, but I think the
Did
sole purpose of that is
Yeah.
because if
Bowling
you've
won.
never picked up a golf club, of course you wouldn't pick hole-in-one because you don't even know how to get the ball in the air.
Bowling's just
Anybody
seems
can
like
grab
an
a ball
easier
and
sport
throw
to
it.
master. That's all. And
Yes.
that's the point Cody and I were trying to make. At least that's the point I was trying to make.
That's
I
the
can't
point
speak
that
for
makes
Cody.
sense.
It's easier.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Fine.
No, let's rehash this.
I'm
all
not
right?
gonna do
Fine,
this.
fine. Cut it out.
Boy, was that one of the better debates I've ever been in.
It was a good one.
It's a good debate because there is no right answer because they're both incredibly hard.
Truly,
Ben
we'll never
can-
know
and
until we
Ben can do
all.
both.
I can do
Except
both. Give me
Ben-
3 months
yeah.
and I'll do both.
Ben
We're all
and I are
gonna-
gonna start going bowling a lot, and we're just gonna show it.
Think about it though.
We're just gonna blur
The volume. How many shots are you gonna put up though? In 3 months?
The thing is, we're just all going
Or
to take
one
a
more,
week
finish
off of
one
work
more.
and see if we can get it done. That's what we're going to do.
First weekend of May,
Full
Ben
week.
and I will be back on the pod to tell you about our 300.
Make sure you have witnesses.
It'll take me 1 day.
You guys don't count.
If
each
you
other's
bowl a
witness.
300 by yourself, I'm not believing you.
If I take a picture of the screen,
I will believe you.
And then Photoshop. I'm just kidding. And then we went home, got some booze. We got
Some Schmitties.
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Look, I was
To get
not
back
feeling
on the
great.
horse.
I had to get something light and
And then
flavorful.
Schmidt's Light. It was either that or Shells, 2 household names.
Or any other beer, because they had all the other beers.
They had everything, and you
Something
picked the most
about the
off-brand.
eagle flying over a full moon just spoke to me. We got Schmidt's Light, and I thought it was really good.
Great
I'll say it.
packaging. I'll give it that.
Then
we got
watched
Domino's Pizza as well.
Domino's Pizza and wings. We watched soccer highlights and other sports highlights, and then we called it a night.
Yeah.
Last night didn't get crazy. It's usually not after you ski the whole day.
It was a good trip.
Very tired.
Well, last year's ski trip, I got
We got,
that's
well,
the,
at least
the
I,
worst I got after the day of skiing. Actually,
we got
and we
ripped
watched the
Saturday
Spurs
night.
this morning.
We watched Tottenham win again against Evan's team.
Yeah. All right. The other massive thing that we skipped over was Michigan State versus Iowa was an all-time regular season basketball game, I would say. Kind of caused an argument in the car, some would say.
Not an argument.
There was some tension.
A hashing of feelings.
There was definitely some tension.
I don't know if I speak for just myself,
I felt very awkward.
but like
It was awkward.
when Alex left and went outside and the door slammed, I was wondering like, what's next?
The reason I was awkward was because Alex and I were alone walking together, and I looked at him and I said, "Are you mad at us or just about the game?" And he didn't respond at all.
Was this when we were packing up? Like you went
and
out?
Alex and I were just alone, and he didn't even say a word to me.
Yeah, I'd be freaked out.
You got your answer then. He's
I was
mad
like,
at us.
I wasn't mad at you guys.
We sat in the car, he cranked the volume to like 40 because we were talking about it, and then turned it down. I was like, all right, I think I should speak.
Yeah, I had to speak at some point.
Well, you said as long as we don't talk about the game, and then you went on to talk about the game for the
I'm allowed to
entire
talk,
call.
of course,
We
because
just
it's my
can't
game. It's my game.
Yeah, remember he was like, you guys can't talk about it the rest of the weekend. It's like, well,
Yeah.
okay, I mean,
It's
that's
my
impossible.
game. I could talk about it. You guys couldn't talk about it. The only part that really upset me was in overtime. I'm sitting there trying to just, get over it. And Cody is just nonstop about, oh my God, how crazy is this game? Like, dude, they were winning
It
by
was a
so
great
much.
game. As a spectator, it was a great game.
Yes. I
I wasn't saying how crazy it was. I was saying how much stuff we were talking about before when they were leading by 10.
just Cody kept rehashing it over and over. Michigan State was up 10 with whatever time left, and
46 seconds.
Ben comes out of
Knows
his
the numbers.
hungover slumber and says that, oh, I just bet Iowa money line. Not really, but he said that. And then Grant cheers me with like 13 minutes left in the game. So cheers to a victory. And then Grant in the car says, I'm the reason Michigan State lost because I gave in to him constantly telling me all game long Michigan State won the game when there was like 40 minutes left. So basically when it tipped off. It was just over and over, just many things. Just Ben saying, throwing up 3 goggles when Iowa hits the first
That
to
was the
5.
most disrespectful
It was a little-
game.
And then all of a sudden
Looking
another
back on
3
it,
hits,
I'm
and then
sorry.
4 more hit, and then you lose. And then it's like, well,
Well, none of us actually thought Iowa was going to.
I understood. That's
Even
why I
with
wasn't.
like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I
left,
never
No
did.
way they can keep
Never.
making
There's
these
no way
shots.
they could have won that game.
Honestly, to quote Grant, you can only be mad at yourself.
See, I'm not just gonna blame myself for that. That's
That was
absurd.
the most ridiculous
In
statement.
fact, when Iowa cut it to 9,
I never want to look like the way you did.
That was the most.
You were just
ignorant-
putting salt in the wound,
Yeah,
though,
he was,
Grant.
just, he was just revving them up.
when Iowa was down 9, I even said to everyone, I was still invested. I still said we have to inbound the ball, and everyone just looked at me like I was an idiot and said that.
Yeah, but at one point
There's
you were
no
like,
way.
"Oh, I can't believe Fran's following. This game's over."
I mean, I said it as a joke, and then I really got concerned about the press, and then it kept spiraling, and still you guys thought I was ridiculous, and you thought it was funny. And then the first thing Grant says to me in the car after I start talking is, "You only have yourself to blame." So
That's
Absurd.
exactly what
I
I
don't
want to hear. in that
I don't
situation.
believe in jinxes and stuff like that. I was just having fun. There's a long history in our friend group of sporting events where people get very triggered when someone says congrats on the win. I used to be an absolute puddle when people told me that. I'd get very mad and say shut up. Now at the point,
Grant's
it's like,
the bit where he does it to us.
or it's
every
so
game.
like now if someone says congrats on the win, I just say thank you or just some dumb like I know it doesn't matter, but it just made the day funnier that
for you.
first of all, I believe everything I said. When I was watching the game, Michigan State fans can agree. Both teams were making high-level shots, but what Michigan State was doing was more like, oh my God, they're shooting 85% from 3, and Iowa's missing bunny layups twice. I was like, you guys are going to win. You're the better team. You're dominating this team. And it was all right. So having fun. I'm like, hey, just cracked 2 Miller Lights and a Truly Margarita. Should we cheers to a Michigan State victory?
No, you didn't say should we. You said it several times,
Cheers.
and I refused to do it
And
several
Alex
times.
clinked my glass and took a sip.
You caved in, man.
I was the last person to clink on that. Alex did clink before I did.
I clinked because jinxes are not really
Right.
a truth.
And I didn't say it's your fault. I just said, looking back, would you have taken away the cheers?
You said you have no one to blame but yourself.
Just
That
a little
is
addition.
blame.
more so than me because I'm not a fan of Michigan State. I probably want to cheers.
Grant our whole life has done this bit where it's always someone else's fault, never his. So it's fine. I moved
It goes
on.
back to 4th grade Mrs. Cordy's
Hey,
class.
It
now,
does.
my position for Michigan State basketball is the best because I went to Michigan State.
You're a fraud.
Doug
Yeah,
Carr.
hey, no,
Play the middle.
I know. Hey, so anytime Michigan State wins, great. That's awesome. But if they lose, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, front runner
Michigan
mentality.
If we can talk about feelings, I'd like to get into your feelings a little bit. I felt so bad at the bit I pulled that I was rooting for Michigan State in overtime.
I was cheering for them in overtime because I felt terrible.
Like, I didn't want them to lose. I just OT was enough for me. That was like, I can't believe this happened. I wanted you guys to win overtime.
The second that game went to overtime, I didn't even
My
have
conscience
a
kicked in fast
single
in overtime.
a single thought that Michigan State would win. That everybody in the world knew that I was.
When was your like, oh,
Overtime. It had to have been.
No.
the second AJ went to the line when we were up 4 or we're up
well, so
2.
they made 5 threes in a row. At what 3 were you like, oh,
the
God.
fourth. The fourth was I was like,
Well,
we're
that was
screwed.
like the most.
Oh, so you were
bizarre
still
part.
holding on. You were like, oh, we're fine. You weren't doomsday like immediately.
Not until the fourth. When I was like, if we miss
50
one free
seconds.
throw,
That
we
was the
have a chance.
McCaffrey one on the wing where he like bobbled it in
Yes.
Jaden's face.
Yes.
The fourth one.
Funny part of the game too is in the very beginning. I was talking about Michigan's horrible experience there when Payne Samford just lit us up, and he's like, "That guy stinks," and then he scored like. 25
I did not
points.
say that. I said he stunk the first time he played
Yeah,
us.
like I've
And then
never
he
seen
hit
him make a
a
shot,
bunch of threes right after.
including the one that tied me to go to overtime.
Ben did make an excellent call. He's like, guaranteed he misses this free throw at the end
Yes,
of the
that
game.
was also really mean.
He's standing on the line. Well,
And now
okay.
some people would
That
say
wasn't
I
like-
was being a troll by saying no way he misses. He hasn't missed yet, which I was being serious. He hadn't
Yeah.
missed, and then I was like, I guarantee. He
Well, I was
misses
being
this.
dead serious. He was sitting on the line laughing.
He did laugh. The visual.
You can't
evidence
tell
out
me
there.
he was focused there. I don't know what was funny.
It's his thing.
Maybe someone.
And he laughed on several before that. And he only missed 2 free throws the whole game out of 14. So I'm not going to just.
Tyson Walker, really good basketball player. Positive.
We don't need to get into this game too much.
No positives.
Positive.
You scored
is
100
Did
points.
you like to
Regulation.
address anything to what
like
you
Kemba
said about
Walker.
Spartan fans on Twitter and a chunk of the fan base that is doomsday after this game?
I would like to address that. For one, to the fans out there, it's not about you. So just stop making it about yourself. 2,
It did affect our day.
yeah, it was disappointing.
I thought we lost you.
Vibes were low at one
I
point.
thought he wasn't going to talk the rest of the day. There was a real moment.
Michigan State this season, that was just the epitome. They just have not been able to close out basketball games. And it's unfortunate, but for everyone to say that Tom Izzo needs to be fired and just going all ballistic off the walls is absurd.
It is absurd.
And not really, I mean, this is college sports. These are kids, as Grant likes to say. These are just kids.
I only say that, though, when I'm really mad at them.
Well, these are just kids. So it's tough.
Yeah.
Was there coaching errors? Yes. But at the same time, Iowa made 5 threes in a row.
I guess Joey House.
And
was
they were
too.
contested. What do you want to do?
Are you mad that Tom said that he didn't want to foul?
I'm not surprised. I'm not mad. I'm not surprised.
Why wouldn't you foul there? Like,
There's no reason not to foul.
you're up.
I mean, it's a
3.
heat of the moment thing.
Especially when a
Admit
team
they're
has
running,
made 4
they're running in
threes.
transition. You're trying to get that message to 19-year-olds. Foul in the moment. Crazy pandemonium. Miss a
He's not-
switch and they hit a 3.
He's not that kind of guy to lie, but he should have lied and said I told them to, and we just didn't do it.
The
No.
announcers
Blame the
are
kids.
screaming for it.
They're just kids.
He wants. I'd rather him take the blame anyways.
Any comments on Fran staring down Kelly Pfeiffer?
Evan's given his thoughts on Fran plenty of times for this podcast.
How do you get away with that though? Like, how do you not get?
I think because they already got a tech that like it takes a lot to get 2 techs. Because
Turns out Fran didn't get to tech earlier. It was a player.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, was it?
it still takes a lot for someone to get 2, like a team to get 2 techs.
It was a
That was-
psycho move by Fran to do that.
So like, here's my thing. Like,
And then the
They
steps
kept
closer.
closing in
it
on each
is
other.
okay. It
Like,
is.
what are you gonna do?
It is
Fran?
weird.
Are you
I
gonna
did
hit
see a
him?
lot of like national, like Seth Greenberg. No, Seth Davis was like not a good look. Like it's a bad look. I'm kind of confused because like in a weird way, it's childish, but he didn't say anything. Like you're just staring at another human being.
It was a threat. It felt like a threat.
Yeah, it felt
But also, then
violent.
you look at who the coach is. It doesn't look that intimidating.
See, and that's the thing. If it was any other big time coach like Izzo, Howard, Calipari, Coach K, whatever it was back in the day, if that happened, it'd be all over ESPN like crazy. And it says it's Fran McCaffrey, and
I
it's
like that. It's like a sneak diss at Fran. Like no one
It's
cares.
Fran's just
Iowa.
known as a douche to begin with, so
Yeah.
it's not surprising. I don't think it like he needed a tech. He probably should have got one, but it doesn't change the game outcome by any means. I'm not blaming the refs in
could've.
this scenario.
If you get teed up, that's a free throw.
What are the other
Takeaways from the game. I don't
The
know if they
takeaways
know.
are that Michigan State can't close out basketball games. It's on their brutal 8-weekend road games in a row. They've led in every single one except one with under 10 minutes left, and they've lost all of them except one. So,
ranking the loss because in the moment there's a lot of worse loss.
that was a fan question.
okay. Nice.
Where does that regular season loss rank? It sucked quite a bit, but I don't remember all the regular season losses as much as I remember postseason losses. So
Well, the pick play that Evan always talks about from Michigan State, like you can't really.
the Trey Burke steal
Yeah.
at Michigan sucked. That's probably number one.
Damn, I didn't even think about that. That would be
That
terrible.
was a good one.
Games where I'm in college that I witnessed in person, some of those really sucked. Like when Iowa came, we were ranked number 1 and we lost by 25 points. That sucked.
What about the buzzer beater that couldn't be reviewed when we were in college?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which one's that?
I can't remember what the game was, but it was unreviewable and it just ended.
That sounds like the Lions.
I was
Falcons
just gonna
loss.
say, yeah.
Can't remember. What it
Or
I mean, it has to be up
Forced
there. It
food
has to
It's
be
up
one
there.
of the worst
Was it
regular
that thing?
season losses.
There's been a couple
It
of
was
bad
non-conference.
collapses like that, just probably none that bad.
It was a big non-conference game.
It's
There were no.
it's the biggest collapse. In
The
Spartan
reason it's
history,
not
right?
number 1,
It is the biggest collapse in Spartan history.
probably. I would have to look, but probably.
Gotta be right.
The reason it's not a number 1 regular season disappointment loss is because of what Ben said. There were not really like many stakes in this game,
no,
and
And it's Iowa.
well, that
it's
doesn't have anything to
Iowa.
do with
Both
it.
teams. It's not like
You were 6-point underdogs to begin
both
with.
teams aren't good. More like they're like above average teams. It's not like anyone's like, oh, like we're knocked off the 1 seed line. Like
It could hurt seeding if you let it spiral, and then
And then not
that's a
having a double
problem.
bye could be good for you. You could win 2 games in the Big Ten tournament now. I mean, good things could happen from the result of this.
It's not like Michigan State's fighting for their tournament lives, so it doesn't. It is what it is.
Right. If that was Michigan, that
Good
would be
job,
a,
Michigan.
If that was
fucking-
Michigan, then yeah, that would probably be terrible.
I also would have slammed the door if that was Michigan. In that
And
situation.
Ohio State's going to beat Illinois. The Big Ten is wild.
Wow.
Good for the Bucks.
Well, there's 56 seconds left. I don't know.
Oh, Cody White his eyes together.
Sorry.
I've got Illinois money line.
Do you care about sports any less? You said that
For a
on the
minute,
call, I
yeah,
think.
it was.
Do you have any lessons you've learned from this game or no? It's just like just happens, chalk it up to the game.
It's just tough that I've been so invested in sports my whole life, and I can't turn it off. So it really does suck.
And
in
to
those
clarify,
moments.
you're not mad at any of us.
You victim blaming was a little ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
You did do that
Cody
in the heat of the moment too.
still finds ways to make
Victim
jokes often today. I'm not sure
Episode
why.
111.
Including some
How many points did Iowa score yesterday?
You've gone out of your way to.
a lot of reaches on jokes as well, including the one you just made about the 10 points up with a minute left.
No, that.
44 seconds down by 10.
Does this change your whole 5 with 5 rule forever? Is it now 10 with 40?
Shut up.
No, 5 with 5 rule still stands. In fact, Iowa was down 5 with 5. So that just proved the rule even more.
13 with 2.
Let's move on.
There was one other thing I wanted to ask about it.
Important game on Tuesday.
Oh, I also think, again, this might get me in trouble again, but I think watching it with us may have been better than if you had been with a bunch of Spartans, because it had to be like a sulking pit of misery where we could make you realize it's not that big of a deal in the long run. Because
worse, because you felt the need to continue saying that it's not a big deal. And then an exact quote from Grant was, "You just made me realize how I never want to be you." And
that was mean.
That was really mean. So
C3.
I know for a fact if the same thing had happened to Grant and it was reversed.
Oh.
If it was reversed, you would have acted the same way.
That's a great point by you. But yeah, there's No, I think watching it with us would have...
The best way would have been for me to watch that by myself, as I've watched almost every game this season.
That probably would have been the best.
And then I could have just moved
We would
on.
have left at halftime to go to the mountain.
It would have been best to
never
never
watched
see
it.
it. It would have been better to never see it.
Imagine the FOMO you get off. Like, what? 100...
It would have been better to not see it.
We did say we would go at halftime, then we just.
But it was a tie game and a half.
Great game and a half.
It was
a great game the
42,
whole way. It was an
42.
amazing basketball game.
The only thing going forward is I finally encouraged by the offense and now thoroughly discouraged by the defense. But we moved up in Ken Palm and moved up in the
But
net.
that's also Iowa, dude. Iowa they make you play weird basketball.
It's tough to win on the road in the Big Ten. We're proving it as we've won twice on the road.
Was there any other questions from that game?
Yeah, we have a basketball related question, Big Ten related. So we can just get into that. How many teams do you think can win the Big Ten tournament?
Everyone. Don't you feel like it's wide open?
I think 6 or 7.
Let me look.
Purdue, Michigan State.
I think
Good
Illinois
Northwestern.
and Indiana.
I think those 4. I think Iowa if they do some crazy stuff. I think Northwestern, unfortunately.
Rutgers.
And I think Gers. That's probably where I'm at. I think Michigan could too.
If Kobe Buffkin continues on his
I think
course
Michigan
right
could also win it. I do not think Wisconsin can.
I got 6. Purdue could win it. Indiana could win it. Illinois could win it. Michigan could win it. Michigan State could win it. And Penn State could win it. Because Penn State is the best player in the entire conference. So if he gets hot, look out.
And they need it on the bubble.
if he's the best of the time.
They just got bad guys around him. Pretty sick.
And then last question: are we going to do a Michigan segment?
Yeah.
Then we'll save that for the end of that one.
That does not look like a sold out Chrysler Center.
It never is.
They said
ticket wise it was. No. They're
U of M hoops.
no Red Wings. Hockey break. Hockey intermission. The Wings are still in the playoff push. Cody and I watched them versus the Rangers. Rangers were what, the third best team in the conference, and we absolutely dusted them. It felt like a playoff hockey game, and it sparked my interest in this team the rest of the year, and I'm very much looking forward to watching them in the future. They did lose the night we got back from skiing, but that felt like it wasn't really that bad because we didn't see most of the game.
On that note, that's now the 7th-ish game I've seen. They've lost all of them. I have not seen a win.
Yeah, you should just stop.
So I don't think I should watch until we get to the postseason.
But we just spent a whole segment saying how Jinxons really aren't real.
I think yesterday proved that they were real.
It's like my voodoo hex in bowling. You just got to keep doing it until it breaks. And
You also have been doing a lot of weird voodoo curses.
You've
this
been trying to
weekend.
curse a lot.
Again, we
this
keep
week.
saying curses aren't real, though. So,
But
Well,
it seems
you
to
guys
keep
are
happening.
saying that. I think they're real.
Are ghosts real?
Yes.
I think ghosts are real.
You believe in ghosts, but you don't believe in jinxes?
Yes, those are mutually exclusive.
I'm a Murphy's Law guy. What can happen will happen.
I think it's what can go wrong will go wrong.
Same thing. It's all interpretation.
Okay.
Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Okay.
Keep chopping.
Keep chopping.
Keep chopping.
I don't know any more buzzwords.
Greg Schiano.
See what
Keep
happens.
chopping.
Continue.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't know. I used to when I was a kid.
Do you think you've ever? Oh, we're wearing the throwbacks. Michigan by 25.
When I was a kid, I always felt like I saw them, but
What?
Yeah, when I was like 10,
Maybe
12.
spend a little time on that. You
You just
Young
watched
Ben-
Casper the Ghost. too
Young
much.
Ben thought he saw a ghost quote all the time.
That's weird.
Well, you let your imagination run. I was afraid of the dark back when I
Let's
was
be
a kid.
honest. Ghosts aren't real. Let's move on.
No, I love scary movies, so
No, they are real. Don't say that.
They're not.
Haunted houses are like real. If someone dies in a house that you buy, I will never do
Is there a
that.
difference
Like a
between
brutal
ghosts and
death. If
spirits?
they like just die of old age, that's fine. But if someone gets murdered, and I am not buying a house that someone's been murdered in.
Okay.
You don't believe in bad
You're a
vibes?
scary guy. You're not scary guy. You're afraid of everything.
Scared of cat.
Scared of cat. In fact,
I'm cautious.
you have a door stopper locker thing that I've never seen in my life on your apartment door, even though your apartment door has a lock.
But not a double lock. Like the handle doesn't lock, just the bolt.
Just
and the
the
bolt is
deadbolt.
flimsy as
the
hell.
deadbolt lock.
The
that you
bolt's
don't
very
trust.
flimsy. I will not be shamed for having a door stopper.
You're
It's
afraid.
awesome.
You're scared of a lot of things.
I
No one
live
wants
by
to around
myself
you
in
anyway.
Minnesota. Do you see the apartment across
I
the
live
street?
by myself
You're saying you
90%
have
of the time in a
glass doors?
suburb of Detroit.
That's a nice area.
You live in New
Detroit.
York City.
Nice
and you
area.
didn't do that.
You live in Birmingham. That is not Detroit.
Suburb of Detroit.
Birmingham is isn't the nicest city in the state of Michigan.
It's one of.
Wealthiest.
I would say Birmingham's
One of,
top
yeah.
2.
Either way,
Different.
Did you
I live
ever-
in Egan.
Did you have a doorstop in New York City?
No, and Brad was gone, and
people did come into the
a
apartment.
group of drunk guys thought it was their apartment. They were one floor up, and they walked in. And I almost
Well, you can still lock it. You just don't put the
Pass
stopper
out.
on.
Greg
think
keeps
I-
a baseball bat
like
under
it
his
was
bed.
locked, but our door had problems, and they just jimmied it enough. and
There's
they-
a lot of problems.
I
with
thought
that.
I was getting robbed or gonna die. I was
In
sitting in my bed,
Birmingham-
heard it ring. I stood up, and they're like, "Oh, wrong apartment." And I was like, "Oh my god."
At least they knew.
In Birmingham, you would lock our door, double lock, because we'd have the handle lock, the deadbolt. You'd put both
Handle
those on.
lock makes me feel so good.
Then you'd go in your room, close your door, lock your door.
You would lock your
not
bedroom
every
door.
time.
and then put a baseball bat under your bed.
I always sleep with baseball
You've
bat on my
had
bed.
polar opposite roommates. 'Cause I used to leave my keys in the door in our dorm room.
You know,
On
you
the outside of the door.
Cody
On purpose.
never locked the door. He would work until late, so I'd already be asleep. He'd get back. He'd be so tired he walks in. He puts the key in the door, opens the door, and then just closes it with the key still on the outside. And then someone would knock on the door and be like, hey, here's your key.
Oh, by
It's
the way,
outside."
Good Samaritans.
So
My car
See,
keys right.
there are good people out there, Grant.
There are.
it's just complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Look, I can't be shamed into protecting myself.
You've never had a situation where you even had an intruder to the point that
I
they
just
wanted to
told the
come in and
story.
take stuff.
But they could have been though.
That was an
They
accident.
could have been. Yeah, I'm trying to prevent that. So you think people that have Simply
You're just
Safe,
taking extreme.
you think people that have
extreme
Simply
measures.
Safe home security are losers? Like protecting your home is dumb.
No.
Okay, then take everything.
But you
said
have
back.
locks, and then you're just going
It's
on
over
and
the
on
A
and on.
flimsy deadbolt.
How are you gonna fix the when they break through this glass door behind me?
I'm screwed.
What are you gonna do when they break down that window?
They can't get that high.
A ladder.
People can climb. You're only second
Touche.
story.
Are you gonna put some locks in your windows?
They do have that does have a lock.
What about
On the
those
inside.
bars to make sure they can't get through no matter what?
I had that in Birmingham on my window. By my bedroom.
Put some barbed wire around the
The
windows.
little
That's what
metal
we're doing.
pole that you put in so like a sliding door so it can't slide.
No, I'm talking something behind the glass, like metal bars.
like a prison.
Yes.
No. That's an eyesore.
Okay.
The Wings are in a playoff hunt and it's exciting, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Michigan hoops.
Michigan hoops that we're watching right now. What's the score?
10-9.
Oh no. Hot start for Wisconsin.
Well, we have 9 too.
They dominated Rutgers on Thursday night. Thursday night was a great sports night to start the trip. Red Wings won, Michigan won.
Did we dominate though? I mean, they only scored 47 points. Is that our stellar defense that hasn't existed all season? Or is
Yeah,
that
no, I think
Grant
holding a
thinks
team.
it's because Jet wasn't playing.
Oh damn it, Cody outed me. I do think that he's not playing today either, is he?
It's not that harsh of a take.
No, it's
I
not.
mean, we
Where is
have
he?
played better with him not
He's
on the
not
floor.
We play better defense when he's been off the floor. Now the sample size is small. It was the back half of the Michigan State game, and it was Rutgers. And Rutgers had some injuries.
It was on
Well,
the
just
road,
one guy
wasn't it?
actually.
That was at Rutgers, wasn't
They have
it?
two.
Yeah.
2 injuries.
Was that a quad
No,
one?
one.
Did McConnell play?
Yeah, he started.
Okay. 1.
Was that a quad one?
Oh yeah, I bet.
Nice. What are we up to? 3?
I think so. Depending on we kind of need.
believe Penn State
we
just fell
we
out of
actually
quad.
needed you to win. Well, you moved up though.
We're easily a quad one win for you guys.
No, because it was at home. You had to be top 25.
Top 30.
You're 33.
Is
so
it
you're not
where
quad one
the
yet.
standings end that qualifies
Not
as a
this.
quad
That's
one?
not even this.
Top
That's just a fact.
30?
At home, top 75 on the road, top 50
Sure, it's not
neutral.
top 40.
No.
Well, I
thought it
hope
was
we
top
stay
25.
around 31, 32 all year.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Half joking, half serious. If Michigan gets in the tournament, I feel like they have a good chance to make the Sweet 16.
I have no expectations for us to make the tournament as of right now.
It's a great lead-in question. A listener question that was submitted.
Interesting.
We have to
What is the ceiling for the teams in Michigan in March Madness? That was a listener question. And you were about to say it, so what do you think?
I don't think either of these teams can make a Final Four.
I would say
What's the
Elite Eight for
ceiling?
MSU.
So the ceiling is to appear in an Elite Eight game would be the best possible outcome for either of these teams.
Sweet 16 for Michigan.
And I think it would be ugly
Elite
in
Eight
the
for
Elite
Michigan
Eight.
State.
Like I think we're talking about a 20-point Elite Eight loss is the ceiling.
I think with Tyson Walker, I think Michigan State could go to the Final Four. I don't think Michigan can make it past the first weekend.
But that's one player. If they can't break a press
I understand.
in the Final Four.
But they just
or
put up
Elite Eight.
101 points.
The breaking the press thing,
I mean,
They-
they're
Breaking the pressing is a problem.
I've never noticed
was
it. And I
major
just kept
pressure
saying it. I was like, oh my
in the
god.
March Madness.
It's a
Well,
problem.
and yeah, remember the Hogarth thing that wasn't a foul where he stepped out and they just gave it to him and made the free throws. But
The
yeah,
press
it
is a
was
problem.
never easy. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess Tyson Walker
It's
could
about
go
matchups.
crazy, but he disappears sometimes. Maybe he won't disappear anymore because he realizes he's the best. But I feel like I've watched him realize he's the best 1,000 times and then just go back to not shooting anymore.
He's so smooth from like 15 feet. It's ridiculous.
He
He
should
made-
shoot 25 times.
He made a big stride yesterday because he's always great at home. He usually never can do that on the road, and he finally did. And so that
Do we know how many
could be a
points he
big step.
had?
over 30.
30-something.
It was crazy. It was a great game.
Also, I think Akins being the second best scorer on the team might be the best option.
And I think that'll continue. Well, Joey, don't forget about him.
Although you don't really
I
have,
do forget about him because sometimes you
Dude,
don't
he
notice
just
him. Like
disappears
yesterday, I
sometimes.
didn't even. No, he had good shots in the end of the game. I take that back.
I mean, he can
But
score.
like in the
He can
second
make-
half, I didn't really notice Joey out there that much.
Sissoko falling out too much is going to be a problem. If
You-
You
Each
face
team's,
one big
each
man in
team's
your-
obviously a
your coach.
matchup based problem. Michigan State's kryptonite is going to be if they play like a team, a great front court, and that also has solid guard play because then it neutralizes what you guys are good at. Michigan's going to be in trouble if they face an experienced backcourt.
Although Michigan State in the beginning of the season faced Timmy and Chibwe, and they had a lot of success in both those games.
The thing with Michigan, though,
didn't
you
fall
never know
off.
what you're going
He
to
played
get.
great in those.
Timmy's unique though because he's not like physically empowering.
Sissoko played great the first
Imposing,
two
I mean.
games. Never forget.
I know.
He's not. He's
I go back to
So
that
to
a
answer the
lot.
question, ceiling wise,
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know that Michigan having a big man that can go off
Gotta make the
in the
tournament
tournament.
first, which is the funniest thing.
I know. I can't believe we're talking about this.
The
Like, they're not
question was
even-
if Michigan.
We are
makes
not
it.
in right now. Like we have to win out, right?
Like because of
Except
that
for
man that
Dickinson.
just missed the floater or shot.
Because of Dickinson, I feel
like-
like their ceiling can be a Sweet 16. I do not see them getting to an Elite 8 no matter what, almost, unless they get a cupcake draw.
Yeah, look what if they
Like if you play an 11 in the Sweet 16 game, sure. Yeah, you can win that. And I think Michigan State's ceiling is slightly higher because they have better guard play, which guards win in March. And Tyson Walker showed a lot yesterday. And Jaden Akins has really been trending up lately.
So you still do have
I do have faith in this team.
Final Four
I don't.
dreams. Because if you said slightly farther than Michigan, then that's Final Four.
No, I said Michigan's max is Sweet 16.
Oh, so Elite Eight.
So I think Michigan State can get to the Elite 8. And then it all depends on matchup.
Do you think they can get to the Final Four then if it depends on matchup?
I do. I do think there's a way they can get there. I would not predict second weekend at this point, probably.
Michigan
Oh,
should
wow.
be the favorite of the NIT right now.
What's
Michigan State's got to be a 6 seed for this.
is the floor for both losing their first game, or do you think it's like a lock? Michigan State wins one game.
It's by no means a lock based on the
I
way
can't call
they
it. What they would be an 8 seed, right? Or 9 or
Who?
7.
Michigan.
Michigan State.
T-shirt.
Michigan State's in the 6-7 range right
There
now.
is no lock for anyone advancing.
No, Michigan State's blown too many
If
games.
Michigan plays a Mountain West team, they're advancing.
There's no way Michigan is a guaranteed lock because I watched them lose to Wisconsin and Wisconsin
In Central Michigan.
In Central.
What was our last really bad March Madness loss? Like Ohio, 10 years ago.
Yes. I would
Michigan
say so.
does come to play in the
People would say
tournament.
the Texas Tech game, but Texas Tech obviously was good.
Well, they were a
because
good
made the
team,
final.
and they
We just
locked
didn't
down
know
our
it because we didn't know Texas Tech could play basketball.
Yeah, both teams could lose in the first game easily.
Well, what we're watching now, if you're listening, all changes. Michigan has to win this game. If they don't win this game, they're probably not in the tournament unless they like win
The Big Ten
3
tournament,
games in the Big Ten tournament.
You might as well win it.
And then I still think they have to split between Indiana and Illinois,
if
which I think they can.
If Michigan loses to Wisconsin in this game, they are not making the tournament.
No, they have to win.
Correct.
No, they just have to win both road games because it would be 2 quad 1
If
wins.
we lose at home to
That won't be-
Wisconsin,
that
we're
won't
not
be.
going to win on the road
Yes,
against
it will.
Illinois.
No.
No, they need to win
Indiana.
at least 1 or 2 tournament games.
18 and 13, I don't think is enough for this team.
That's what it was last year.
With a quad 5. There's only 4 quads, but with a quad 5 loss that they have against Central, it really hurts their metrics.
Central's such a good team, though. They're scrappy.
They're horrendous.
Okay, now juicy football, NFL football.
Nice.
The Detroit Lions. Was there any more questions?
There was one
Yeah.
more.
Let's do that first.
No, there wasn't.
Is there any Lions questions?
No Lions.
Oh, there's tires.
Tigers outlook. No, thank you.
Oh,
No.
Tigers
We
are
did
currently-
that.
They're currently losing 3-1 or 6-1 now. Top 5.
Stat guy.
it's a gap year. Just skip it all.
we
We're
kind
not
of
talking about-
I mean, we kind of talked about them last week. So
We're
I'd
not
say
talking
just
about
go
Big Ten
about
hockey
that.
tournament preview
This is a
either.
Miggy farewell tour.
However, for those of Michigan State,
How much money would you
interested,
guys need to be paid to watch all 162 games of the Tigers?
162.
every single pitch.
In the
I
same
would-
location. You can't like be on the go. You can't be playing.
Dude,
you can only look at your phone during commercials.
like 50K.
I would need like $100 a game.
like 50K.
I think that's lower than what Evan said.
I think I've watched 20 games
Like
total.
16
last
You
year.
said
$100.
50?
If they paid me $100 to watch a 3-hour game,
Dude, I get mad.
That's way
watching
more
it.
than that.
I'd have to be Chris Kesta,
Yeah.
whatever his name is, from Barstool.
oh wait,
No, you know it's only $16,200.
What's the same? Pretty much.
Evan said 18,000. I said 1 million because I think it's that
1
awful.
million.
No, seriously, your life would be terrible. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't do anything at night in the summer.
for 1 year to get, is it tax free?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I would do 20 grand, hands down.
The thing about
20
the
grand
Pacers
to
is,
have no
like,
fun.
you love golfing too. I know a lot of their games are at night, but like any of their
7.
day
You're
games
giving
on
up
the,
your summer.
any
and
day
your
games
fall.
on the weekend, you can't go do anything. You're just stuck there from 1
Oh,
to 4.
can't watch the Michigan
But
game.
how
Gotta
could I
watch
do
the
it at work?
Tigers.
I wouldn't be able to do it at work.
Yeah, you'd have to have enough money to like pay your salary because you're probably gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Oh,
you have to skip work to
it's
like
gonna have
do
to
this.
be like 100 grand at least then
Okay,
for a year.
that's
then
what. Yeah,
Then I can go back. I'll just take a year off of work.
the math is like
It's not
like,
even a full year.
It's like 24 days of actual watching, and it's like $500 if you do averages of how long.
But you
what
could
I'm
try to
saying.
profit from it too, like build a
Stream.
Twitter account
Yeah.
or
If they
stream.
got my
off it.
salary, I would do it for my salary.
It's a huge shot. It looks like.
April to October. You're
That's-
missing the first month of football.
That's
Yeah,
so
and like Saturdays.
What do
You're
you
just,
mean? It's not.
Tigers are going to be playing during football games.
Evan did it. He's like the Michigan State Washington game. I'm gonna be
Michigan State,
watching the
Washington, you'll
Tigers
be watching the Tigers.
against the Angels. Was the game? He was looking at their schedule.
What?
Yeah.
What an awful question.
I didn't
I don't even
think
want
about
to
it
think
more.
about watching 100.
I said a million
You need a lot.
because of also how bad this team is.
The amount of money's on the rise. The more we talk about it.
Yeah,
That's
sucks.
how I felt too.
If it was on the go, it'd be different. But like you have to sit somewhere.
But honestly, if somebody gave me $100,000 to sit there and watch every game, I would do it.
Yeah.
It's a job.
How do you say no to that?
Because
Like,
yes,
that's a lot.
I have
yes,
the
100K,
entire
100%. I would do it.
100%.
I mean, it would really test your mental.
Like-
Evan did make a great point. He was like, when you watch something that much, you start to appreciate it more, and you'd find like these little storylines, even if they were terrible, that would like interest you enough to keep it going.
I'd probably
You're
fall
telling me
back
I
in love with
would not-
baseball if I
I
watched
would
that
not have
much
to
of it.
work my real job if I got $100,000. And I would quit for a year and
Yeah.
go back because my company loves me, so I'll go right back.
Yeah, no, I think it has to be at least a year's salary and potentially more.
Your summer would suck.
But it would be
1
terrible.
year for $100,000.
You would lose a
Sure.
you
Your
would-
20s.
You would have to rebuild
Dude, you're,
some
like,
friendships.
wasting a
because people
summer
would be like, we can't.
and
We
a
never
fall.
see Cody. He's watching the Tigers.
I'm available
All day.
20 hours out of the day.
And everyone's at work. No, you got to be in the same spot every single game. So like on your couch, in your house, by yourself.
I would just make sure I'm at Muck's Sports Pub every single game.
That might be cheap because there's gonna be some distractions. That you're not gonna see. You have to see every pitch.
You have to be dialed.
That's fine. I'll be drinking beer and
No, you
Well,
can't.
you can't
drink
drink
away
the
the
job.
pain. Can't do
it's
that.
not a job.
It is your job in this scenario.
But it's not. It's just
We're gonna
being
drug
paid to
test
do
you.
it.
No Scooby snacks either.
All right, to the Lions. To the Lions. To the Lions.
Super sticky.
Super stick.
Lions. So I think this I saw a
Fan
tweet-
question.
Okay.
Well, give your whole preface, and then I'll give the fan question.
My preface was just that we were at Cowboy Jack's and there was a lull in the song, so I looked at my phone as
Tom
people
Pelissero.
do in socially awkward situations. If they're not want to look around, I looked at my phone. And
We
I was
need to be
like,
better
check the
about
weather.
that as a
I was
society.
like, oh
That's
my
why I was
god.
talking to females.
Check work emails at 2 a.m.
I was like,
You don't need to
Saturday.
flex, Cody.
I was like, oh my god. Someone just tweeted that the Rams are going to probably part ways with Jalen Ramsey.
Trade.
And then the photoshops that Lions fans are making are insane. And we know last week it was Amanra who tweeted out something or said something on his podcast about come play with us, Jalen. And then today,
Jerry Jacobs.
Jerry Jacobs said, Jalen, we actually need you to come join Seatbelt Gang with the seatbelt emoji, which I didn't know. No, an airplane seat emoji, which I did not know existed, and like a red X. So we have our players openly recruiting, which I don't know if it's tampering or not,
not.
but we're openly
No, there's no
a
tampering
guy that's
in the NFL.
under contract on the Rams saying come play with us. So, and then there was the tweet I sent or I found today. It was like an aggregator saying
Raiders, Lions.
Jeremy Fowler is reporting that Raiders and Lions are like the two
Most interesting.
first candidates that are talking about trading for Jalen Ramsey.
What was it? Jason Kerr?
We don't know who that
Yeah,
guy
we don't
is,
know
so
who
we
that
don't
is.
really give him credit.
Was
Okay.
is he part of CBS though? 'Cause
Yeah,
that
he was
like, the
CBS. It was
sponsorship.
CBS Net
Or the
Sports.
No
company
idea who that
posted
guy
it.
is.
I'm diving back into Spot Rack to look at what we did that one show where you look at previous trades in the NFL so we can try to figure out.
Well, I
how
have
bad
the
this is
fan
gonna be.
question based on Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
Would you give up, in this scenario, a Jeff Okudah reclamation project? So the Rams would take Jeff Okudah in hopes that he'd become
Why do you have to
something?
call him a reclamation project?
Because that's what he is. And the 18th pick for Jalen Ramsey.
Yes.
Grant. I know Jeff is very
Who's on the board? Is Bijan Robinson on the board at 18? Can I make this a
This
draft
trade's
day trade?
before the draft.
No, draft day trade. That's electric.
This trade is tomorrow.
I don't think it will be a trade until draft day. I think this will be a draft day
I'm not
blockbuster.
here for
'Cause everyone's
your
gonna need to-
hypothetical.
The Rams are going to want to see who's there at 18. They're not
Look,
just going to. They're
we-
not going to do this before.
We benched Okuda last year at the
Answer
end
the
of
question,
I think
Grant.
he was hurt.
He was not hurt.
Answer the question.
No,
Yeah,
I would
man.
not do it.
You wouldn't spend a 18th
Okuda, let's ride.
overall pick.
You're serious.
Is it the 18th pick that
Eight.
holds you back, or
If
is
you
it?
don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Is it Jeff Okudah holding you back on this deal?
Hey, we're in win now
Yes.
mode.
The Okuda part holds you back, dude. You got to get over the cap we spent on.
I
him.
don't know how serious I'm being.
Answer the question.
I just don't
for
want
me.
to get rid of Jeff. I think he's good.
Answer.
Well, I don't want to get rid of Jeff either, but you get a major
You have to
upgrade
gauge
at a
Jalen.
But
very
and
needed
18. I
position.
also think 18 is a little much if you're giving up a caliber player.
Well, we're probably
Jeff.
going to draft a cornerback at 18 anyway.
I read today.
We're going
that
to get Porter, and
the
you don't know what he's going
Rams-
to get. What
Okay.
he's going to do.
For reference, Darius Slay was traded for a third and a fifth.
But sign him for a 5-year contract.
the
That's because
Rams.
we just
Jalen
dumped him
Ramsey
'cause
is
we
the
had
best
terrible
corner in the
ownership
NFL. One of.
for management.
Was at least. Now, last year the Rams played him in a ton of zone, and he's a man corner, which is what the Lions play a lot of.
I heard he's not good in man.
He's way better.
Dude,
in
if you're going to be
No, I
third
saw
overall
charts, it
pick,
was
though,
not
you got to
great,
be able to
man.
do both. You
But
got
that might have been people cherry picking stats that don't like him.
Can't read being a man.
Grant. We all know
Marcus Peters got traded for a second round pick and a fourth round pick.
a first round pick and a bust. is
And a
not
player.
You know what you're going to get with
You just say
Ramsey.
he's
You
a
don't know
bust.
what you're going to get with the 18th.
He's not a bust.
for his draft stock. Yes,
That's not his fault, though.
he's
not
a bust. He sucks.
Not what I'd rather
He
do.
hasn't been good ever.
What,
He's not-
what if you change Okuda from a first and a third? Or
He's
a
not
first
a
and a
bad
fourth?
player. He's not a bad player.
First and a fourth for Jalen Ramsey.
Okuda in both seconds. Would you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I would do that.
Spinoff, would you rather draft Witherspoon or get Jalen Ramsey? You don't know exactly
Jalen
what
Ramsey,
Ramsey
because
was.
I'd want to win now.
Well, you could still win now with Witherspoon.
Sauce Gardner is a cool
Maybe. Ramsey's like a generational talent.
Thank you.
So,
get
then you'd
rid
rather
of Jeff
hold on to
Okuda.
No, but the first
Dude.
and the player.
The player isn't
The player-
anything. The player isn't even good enough to play on our team.
He's going into his fourth year and has done
Darrell
nothing.
Revis got traded for a first and a fourth round pick.
That is more than Jeff Okuda. Jeff Okuda is worth a sixth.
No way.
We would trade him right now for a fourth.
You
round
think
pick.
Jeff Okuda would have a tantalizing trade
If
market?
you put Jeff Okuda back into the draft of this class, he's going to be gone by the fourth round.
I bet in the fourth round he'd be.
I have no comparison for that, but that just feels right. There's no way he's on the board that long.
Sure, but his
Maybe.
stock is so down.
it's
Probably by the Lions.
low.
because nobody else.
But we don't know if it was like concussion.
Grant.
Dude, we're 3 years into this experiment with Okuda.
Grant. Get over it.
But we're not, though, because the
I know
first
you
round
have to
was-
ride
Maybe he
with
has a
him.
torn Achilles on his belt.
Yeah, but he's
That takes a toll.
healthy. If he gets hurt again,
You just said he's hurt, though. You said
no, he
that's
got
why he was
concussion.
benched.
Grant, he was fully healthy in a game I watched him get benched in.
He's played.
Look, he had a roller coaster.
His
season
great
last year.
tackling the first 8 games went to shit the final 8 or final 9.
He couldn't tackle that Carolina game. That was so ugly.
Beginning of the year.
Baker.
He isn't very good, and it's okay.
The point is,
An undrafted free agent walked in and was better than him.
we need some dogs on the team. All right,
Mm-hmm.
give me Witherspoon or Ramsey. Trade up for Witherspoon or make the
Dude,
trade
a
for
first round pick for a corner is a big deal. Like, okay,
18
when
for
Ramsey got
that,
traded,
arguably the best
when Ramsey
corner
got
in the
traded in 2019 from Jacksonville to LA, this will be 5 seasons ago now. 4.
They dumped a
ago.
lot of draft capital.
It was 2 first rounds. It was the 20th pick and 25th pick, and then a 4th round pick.
So just the 18th
So now
pick for him.
you add years. If you give an 18, you can't give a player that's like okay. You give like a late round pick. I will give up the first, which is even a lot for.
I'll think about it. You're
Give up
basically
the
Giving up 18
we're basically
is a lot.
No,
18-5.
not for an all-pro top 4 corner in the whole entire league who can tackle and do everything.
we're basically giving the Rams their pick back.
He's
Only
one of
it's a
the
pick
best
swap.
players at the position
Because-
by far.
Yeah,
Not even close.
No, we're actually giving.
No,
them
I agree.
the
Dude,
backup.
you're getting a Pro Bowler.
And you're giving up a guy that has played minimal in
but
3 seasons.
there's no
and
need
sucked
to
every
add
time he
him
plays.
in when you're already giving up the
The
first
Rams
pick.
want a chance to have someone good. That's
If you
the
said
point.
Okuda and then 4th, no, if you said first round pick and a 4th, I'd do it.
What's crazy is the Rams could be still like very good next year.
I
I'd rather
love-
keep the 4th than Jeff Okuda.
Please, you want to draft like Luke Schoonmaker?
I watched Jerry Jacobs come in undrafted and be better than Jeff Okuda.
What
Yes.
about the best corner
I'd
in the
rather
league
keep the
last
4th.
year? The Seattle guy. He was like a 6th
Tariq Woolen,
round
6th
pick.
round pick.
He did not go that way.
Dude, look it up. You got your laptop open.
4th or
Fun
6th.
fact: I told on last year's draft show that I wanted to draft that guy because of how tall he was.
He was from the UTSA, correct?
Yeah,
That's
He's
good call.
And so, yeah,
Thanks, Ben.
I don't need Jeff Okuda.
There's only one problem with Ramsey, and it's because I don't know if he'll stick out his whole contract in Detroit.
That's fair.
5th round pick for Tariq Woolen.
We kind of have to win
That's
for that
crazy.
to happen.
If we show signs of losing,
I
he's
think
gone.
having
But this
a
is
partner,
the win now
But
mode.
think about this.
Like we go get him to win now.
But then what? Like Okuda could grow so well under Ramsey.
He could.
And then you have 2 dogs.
Jeff's gone after this next season. I don't think you understand that.
we didn't want to
I
pay.
don't. That is not given
Hawkinson.
by any means.
Unless he has some unbelievable season where he has not showed any of that, which he's not going to because the front office doesn't
He
believe
has
in him.
shown flashes. I'm not. You can't just say
He has.
been nothing.
I was
the
actually
entire
very
time.
optimistic.
He
last
had
year.
he won us the Chicago game at Chicago.
You could
That was a
intercepted
gift
that.
wrapped
He
interception.
made the play though. He picked off Kyler Murray in his first year. He's a
That
great
was like the
tackler.
first game.
The
Wasn't it?
GM doesn't believe
There's
it.
been moments this year where you were like, "Wow, yeah, Okuda's really impressing me."
The coaches benched him. He got worse as the season went on.
As our team got better, he got worse.
He lost his.
Jerry Jacobs came back and was immediately
maybe him and
better.
Aubrey President had a good relationship, and losing his cornerbacks coach hurt him a little bit.
The
it
cornerbacks
helped
coach
other
that got
guys.
fired because he was terrible.
And then it helped other guys.
So
But
you'd
maybe
rather-
like Pleasant and Okuda were boys, and it hurt.
That makes sense because they were both bad at their job.
I just can't believe you wouldn't want a Pro
That was a
Bowler
good one.
to get rid of him.
Move on from Jeff. It's not too
I'm
late.
just saying we would be getting fleeced.
We'd be
Oh
getting
my,
fleeced
stop
because
it.
Jeff Okuda and Jalen Ramsey aren't even in the same globe.
But you're already getting him the first, which is a lot for a corner. That's already enough.
Dude,
It's
That
not
is-
just a corner. This is not just
But
a
we know what he's gone
Grant,
for in the
Grant,
past.
do you think
yeah, way more.
do you think we draft a cornerback
4
in the
years
first
ago.
round this
He's
year?
older.
He
Huh?
is still
Do you think we
good.
draft a cornerback in the first
I
round
actually
this year?
don't, because of Brad Holmes' history. I did not do my own research. I saw it floating on Twitter, so if I'm wrong, then whoops. But people were saying that when he was with the Rams, they tended to not use high picks on corners. They'd wait later and find value.
I'm fine with that.
Like-
Believe me.
I
Jerry
think
Jacobs.
Brad has shown through his first 2 drafts, only 2,
Yep.
that he's like trenches first.
Yeah.
That he would just stockpile trenches early and then use or if he has a game breaker like J-Mo, he'll make a move for it. But he's gonna stock trenches and then he'll like get like linebackers and corners and stuff like that later.
It feels like it's worked so far too. I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
that's how we were successful
Well,
last year.
There's still question
Offensively,
marks
at
about
least.
Anzarecki and Pascal because those were 2 like build the trenches in the second
Pascal
round. We
played pretty
all
well
and
last-
everyone in the fan base wanted other people at those spots.
The Pascal one's still off for Jerry. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Levi O, I don't know. Like maybe if he's fully healthy, fine, but he's been hurt like both years.
Yeah,
So I don't
hasn't
really
even
know what to
played.
say. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you what he looks like if I saw him on the
I
field.
don't know if he's.
That's
ever
just
played.
like a name to me. Like
Could you
I hear it all the
imagine-
time, but
could you
I
imagine
don't.
But
know.
he-
signing Bobby Wagner and trading for Ramsey. That'd be a heck of an offseason.
Would you rather buy a run stuffer or buy a
Is
cornerback?
Wagner a trade?
No, he's a
free
cut.
agent.
He's a free agent.
Oh, they cut him.
They're going to cut him. I don't think you can cut him.
Dude's like
Well, I guess
45,
you
like
can.
Tom Brady.
Well, the pool is big between
not that-
him.
No, he's like
David.
30 something.
Is there another one? Oh, and I think Clay with the season, Edmonds is a free agent from Buffalo.
Well, who's the
Really?
So like 3 top 10 linebackers in the league are all free agents.
I don't think you draft a corner or a linebacker this year.
I'd
Or
rather
at least
spend
in
money
the
on a
high
veteran.
round.
because you said our highest age player is 29 years old.
29 years
Yeah, I
old.
think we could
need
use a
some
guy that's like
vets.
We need some
30.
veterans.
Like I'm not afraid to have a 32-year-old, 33-year-old, and our linebacker.
Look, I know some people like Anzalone, but I gotta see someone else.
I
step
think
in
people don't like him. I think they just like he had a good year for him
He was good
Yeah.
enough.
there. He
his
hit
standards
for him.
his peak last year.
because Malcolm helped. Like the talent, like he had better people around him.
Correct.
Jalen Ramsey, 28 years old, and we're talking about age for him. He wouldn't even be the oldest guy on the team.
How old's Slay? Because Slay is still awesome, and he's like 35.
He's not 30.
He's got to be like
Slay?
he's
Does
gotta be
what-
32.
Does what the
Yeah.
Chiefs did, does that change your opinion? Because they just rolled out a bunch of rookies last year and won the Super Bowl?
No.
No, the Chiefs are a
Jalen Ramsey's a
different team.
game breaker, game changing player
Agreed.
that the Lions have not had at corner.
Think about how
Ever.
much better Hutchinson will be when we have a lockdown cornerback.
Yeah. It works. They work together.
And
Like, or you could just stop.
Jalen
that.
Ramsey isn't just a cover corner either. He can lay hits as well.
So can,
Don't compare Jeff.
I was going to
Jalen.
say Jeff's a good tackler.
He was. For
I would
5
love to
games.
see Jeff get to work with Jalen Ramsey, so I would want him on our team. I don't
I
think we need
agree.
to give him up because the Rams
You're
don't
gonna-
want Jeff Okuda. They don't even want.
Yeah.
I mean that hurts my
That's
argument.
actually a good
But
point.
when they're rebuilding,
They would
they
not
don't.
want
They're going to have to like sign him to a contract next year. Like, why would they take Jeff Okuda? They
Fun
just want
fact
picks.
also, Darius Slay was traded at the age of 29 and then had 3 runs.
He's
in a
29
couple
already.
Here
seasons.
we are.
Jalen Ramsey's 28.
That helps our point.
There's like
So you have
third and a fifth.
4.
Is so bad. If you said we had to give a third and a fifth right now, we would do it in a second. Like less than a second, I'd say yes.
Yeah, we
So
were
Jalen Ramsey has 4 good years.
The Eagles took
at
advantage
least.
of us.
God, I need to double check how fat Jalen Ramsey
Just 'cause
is.
Quinn
I don't
is so
care, but I
bad.
just want to know how much it is. I'm looking.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna have to sign him. We're just gonna
Dude,
a new deal.
We're in buy.
No,
we're in buy
No, it
mode.
will be a new
Let's
deal.
make some moves.
No, he's under contract until
for 2
20.
years.
He's under contract until 2025.
For
5-year,
2 years.
$100 million.
No, he's 3 seasons left on his deal.
5-year, $100
How
million.
much cap
3.
space do we have?
Because
What are we
2023 is coming up, then
20?
24, then 25, then he's a UFA.
Yeah, he's a
That's not
5-year
bad.
Signed a 5-year, $100 million contract.
His cap hit is 25, then 26, then 22.
Do we
That's not
have
that bad?
cap space for them?
Yes.
We have a lot.
I mean, the cap's not real. All
And
you
Jeff
have to do is,
Okuda
like,
would be a big dump
Yeah,
off the
but
cap.
have we ever gone
Third
over our
pick.
cap? I feel like
well,
we
that's a question
just
for
never
Sheila to
spent.
answer. Will she pay luxury tax?
Jeff would
Martha
lower
would
the
not
cap
have.
significantly. He's a number 3 pick.
He'll do
He's
what?
got a big cap.
You know who'd lower the cap? Your guy, Goff.
Well, we're not getting rid of a quarterback.
No,
That's
we're not gonna
very
get
good.
rid of
I
him.
know.
But he would probably restructure his contract to make us better.
I think he would. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Jeff Okuda, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th highest cap hit on the team.
It is their occupation, though.
7
I don't
ties
think
for
they
a
want
guy
to
that's
make
bottom
most
5.
money.
It would go Jared Goff, $31 million cap hit. Jalen Ramsey, 26. Taylor Decker, 19.35. Frank, 16.45.
Give me Ramsey. I will.
Romeo Core with a 14.5.
Dude, what if we got
He's a big
Witherspoon
question mark.
and-
He's back from health.
Might be a bad signing.
But we know he's good. Like, we saw him have a good year. Like, I think he's better than Charles Harris. We just need to see him healthy. What a
Oh,
great
Charles
year
Harris,
by
bad
Dickinson.
signing.
He just got hurt. But he had like 8
Did not watch
sacks.
that guy run.
Flex on him, Dickinson. Love it.
The defensive line stuff is interesting because, in theory, we have Charles Harris and Romeo Cora still coming off injury.
Dude,
Like, we could be absolutely
we have
loaded.
so many
We need
names that
D-tackle.
just always get hurt that I just don't even
Yeah.
see them.
It's a
play.
brutal sport. I mean, John Kaminsky
It
had a
is.
great year, but he got hurt for
100%.
like half the season as well.
You think we re-signed?
That's
Pudge,
why,
Kaminsky, and
honestly,
everyone?
Hutchinson playing every single game might have been the most impressive thing he did. And he was hurt. Remember, he got hurt in the very
Yeah.
beginning of the year?
Let's get back on topic here. Is there anything
Lions?
else?
I would do, like, what if it was pick 18 and then the second round pick we have?
So way more than Jeff.
Dude,
Okuda.
come on. Stop it. What
Are
do
you
think?
serious?
What do you think Okuda's value
You
is?
value Jeff this much?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just asking what you just. So that's a hard
Yes.
no.
I've been
Oh.
on Jalen Ramsey's
I'm seeing how bad you
fan
guys
page
want
for a
him.
while. I said it before the season that Jalen Ramsey was incredible. I say it on this podcast all
I
the
kind
time.
of like the draft capital, but we have a lot of it this year, so I'm willing to give 2 picks.
You want to win now? You need a guy like that.
If you
Do
add,
not give number 6.
if you
though.
add
Do not
Ram,
give number
if you
6.
add Ramsey and you sign one of these linebackers, I think you are winning a playoff game finally, and then you might win 2. So you might be in the NFC Championship game.
Which would be awesome.
I think we should just try to win now.
Would you rather trade up and get Carter, or trade back and get whoever? from 6.
Well, I want Carter back. He's the missing piece.
We need him.
He's a missing piece of a few.
All right, so what if it meant like would you rather give up your draft capital to get Ramsey or go get Carter if you had to pick?
Oh,
So I have to give up 18 and 6 to get to 3.
I don't know what the numbers are. I'm just saying.
That's
No.
a tough
You
question.
would have to give up. You would have to give up 6 and a second round pick to get up to.
Who would I rather have on the roster, opening day roster, Jalen Ramsey or Jalen Carter?
it would
That's the
take.
question?
It would take less.
Yeah,
I love
capital to
Carter,
get
so that's tough.
Ramsey.
But you know exactly what you're going to get with Ramsey.
It'd take less capital.
You don't
to
know
get
exactly what Carter can
It'd
do.
have to be Carter,
But his
because
film,
he will
he
have
watches
lots of
tape.
years in Detroit.
I think I would do Carter too.
Just because you have him for a long time.
He's a Jordan
And then
Davis.
couldn't we just like try to UFA sign like Jamel Dean from the Bucks and like just kind of help the secondary? You're getting Tracy Walker back. I mean, our secondary is going to be good. Kirby Joseph another year.
Walker.
You could draft a cornerback late in the second
You
round.
can. There are some good corners out there
Yeah.
in this draft.
Jalen Ramsey,
DJ
just
Turner.
a game changer.
DJ Turner cost us TCU game.
But it's interesting. I know like Jalen is awesome. I'm not disagreeing, but you're always been like a
I know.
You're not
that's how-
anti-corner,
that's how
but, like,
special Jalen
you don't
Ramsey is.
value the position as highly as like other people do.
I don't care. I just want a dog at corner.
It is nice to have. It's fun.
That's what that.
He's
Witherspoon-
just not a
Witherspoon
normal
was sick.
corner.
Dude, I
you
want
can't
him.
get that hit out of your head.
After watching that first opening clip on his highlights, oh my god!
I told you guys a month ago, do whatever you can to get Witherspoon and Carter. But that seems like it's going to be very expensive to do that.
No, you could because Ben, you could give up the 6th pick in the draft, and then one of our second round picks to get Carter.
You
And
can't
then
move
if-
to the 3 from that, I don't think.
Yeah, you can. The draft value chart.
The draft value chart's not everything.
The problem is where
That's what
Gotta
every
get a team
GM
willing to
use.
move. You have to get a team willing to move first.
I think the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
no,
will
of
move.
course.
The Cardinals are in rebuild.
You can't force trade in the NFL. But I'm saying like the trade value chart is what GMs use.
I know.
someone is going to come and say we need a quarterback and we want to trade your 6th pick.
We'll see.
I really
If a
truly
quarterback
believe
is
that.
there, do you think a team would trade up to 6 for Richardson if the other 3 are gone?
No,
No, Richardson's getting some buzz. I think.
He's trending up. We need
Will
to
Levis
see
is gonna
the.
fall off.
Hey, when is
We're not
the
close.
combine? That's coming up like very soon.
It's like
Is it right now?
It
the
starts
Panthers
Tuesday.
are still right behind us, right?
Panthers,
They're one up.
the Raiders,
Oh, they're one behind us.
the Falcons. The Falcons need a quarterback.
Okay, here we go.
Unless they're going to ride
Just
with
for
Mariota.
reference,
They're going to take Jimmy G.
what pick would we have to judge? The 3rd pick you're just saying hypothetically?
Third pick is where Jalen.
Yeah,
Carter's going.
if we
Would you do the same? Does Will Anderson apply the same or no? Because he's an edge.
I like Will Anderson a lot, but no, Jalen Carter. I'd have a tier above.
The 3rd pick
Same.
is worth 2,200 points, and
that means
our
nothing
pick
to me.
is the 6 is 1,600. So it's a 600 gap to move up to 3, and then our second round pick is worth 420.
So not enough.
So technically not
So we'd have
enough.
to package.
Plus
in that
Jeff
case,
Okuda.
What about a
but you
second round
can
next year?
move up to 4 or 5.
What about a second
The
round
4th
next
pick
year?
is worth 1,800, so 400.
That
less.
won't get him. He's going top 3.
Wait, next year we have 2/3. So we have that Minnesota 3rd round pick.
We have
next year.
1/3. We have their second.
You
round
have to
pick.
get to top 3 to get him.
No, the Hawkinson trade gave us another 3rd round for next year. So we have 2/3.
this
next
coming
year.
draft.
No, next. Sorry.
And I believe we'll be
So
getting
we
a
could
comp
use one
pick
of
next
those.
year for.
Sorry, that's too far into the woods.
No, you could.
We have some comp picks coming.
You
in
could
our
give
way.
up.
Either way,
you could
make
give
it-
up a 1, a 2, and a 3.
If you could make it happen,
To move
would
up.
you do it?
Promise I don't want to get rid of all the capital. when we-
Yeah, I'd rather have Carter on
We
my
need to
team
go
than
get a
Ramsey.
quarterback.
I'd rather have Carter than Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey is not a normal corner. He is Jabril Peppers, but good.
I know, but I think making a nasty, like
That was uncalled for.
having a nasty
Similar.
Jabril still
defensive
plays.
line is better than having Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I agree, but our corner and our secondary is just not good. And I
Cornerbacks-
have some faith in the D line right now due to our rookies last year.
Yeah,
We got.
was
You can
better.
find D tackles.
I feel like we got the
Crazy
max
better than
talent
you can
out of
find
all
corners.
players last year.
Ooh, I disagree with that a lot.
What I gathered from this
I watched
conversation.
Haloti
is
Nada
good
come in
vibe
and
to
be
them.
good. I watched Snacks Harrison come in and be good.
Were they good?
Snacks
Run
are-
stuffers, yes.
You remember Snacks?
No, I remember you can't miss him. But like, I just don't. I don't remember him like being like, wow, he's amazing,
Isaiah Bugs, good.
solid.
Good D tackle came out of nowhere.
But then why was our run defense so
Yeah,
bad?
like he's not like crazy.
Our run defense is bad because of our linebackers.
Defensive linemen are more valuable than cornerbacks.
We need,
Yes.
Yeah, we need run stuffers from.
But
So-
not Jalen Ramsey.
Grant, prioritize this for me.
Wait, what was
Run
that one guy
stuffer,
we just watched the highlights last
linebacker,
night
and
of?
cornerback. What is your priority for those 3 positions?
Well, if you're purely a run stuffer, then
Bailey.
that's
Well-
not as high. Like Carter's amazing because he can get to the quarterback as a pass rusher and
So
Chris
stuffer.
Jones.
D-line then.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones level.
Like
Jalen
Chris
Carter.
Jones is the most valuable player, then a linebacker,
He's the most valuable player on the Chiefs.
No.
You put a linebacker over a
corner,
pass
then
and-
linebacker. Linebackers
I
are
don't
like
know.
dying. Off-ball linebackers are dying.
They kind
Like,
of are.
they're just like whatever. But we need one in Detroit because we've always struggled with it. And I feel like that's why our fan base.
We haven't
wants
had a
one.
good linebacker since like DeAndre Levy. And
When
that was
Schefter
quick.
drops the Jalen
Like,
Ramsey
the
trade, it'll
Super
be
Bowl
interesting.
teams like the Eagles, like name an Eagles linebacker. Can't. I honestly can't. TJ Edwards. And then the Chiefs have a good one in Bolton, who they drafted, but like
He's awesome.
he's awesome, but he's not the focal point of anyone's defense.
He did a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
What about Bobby Wagner then? Because we talked about that too.
No, yeah,
Is
we
he-
definitely
he's-
would want him, but you need a lot. Like if you just throw Bobby at the, like with the Rams, they were terrible this year. Like
Edmonds isn't even the best linebacker on the Bills, by the way.
Milano,
Yeah.
Milano Cookie.
Oh, big
Milano's
time.
better.
Milano is sick. Yeah, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. We've watched really bad linebacker play for
I'll
a
take
while.
Van Der Esch right now.
Ooh, Anders.
Late in Van Der Esch.
I feel like we're all on the same page though. Make a move for the better this year.
They will.
Spend some money.
They will.
Please.
Maybe.
Dan and Brad said that this upcoming season's the year they're going in. They're trying. They're
I
ready.
want to get to the point where we have like so many good players that we're in cap hell.
We
As
traded.
like I'm so tired of like, oh, we have so much room. Like I just want guys and then figure out how to keep them all because we have like too many people that are good.
Dude, we traded up
Please
last
don't show
year.
that. I don't need to see Dickinson with his mask on.
We traded up last year. We're gonna trade up again this year. I feel like.
He's aggressive. Holmes is.
Exciting to see what we do. Anyways,
All right. I think that's the show. Was there any other questions?
wow, this pen is nice.
Yeah.
No.
No, nothing from me.
Any listener questions?
conversation.
Producer, anybody call? Anybody on the line?
Somebody did leave a voicemail, but we can't.
Call our number. Let me read it off for the people. Still, we're saying it 0 texts and 0 calls. No offense to you, Billy. Real calls. 984-444-9286.
Also, please leave a comment if you don't like that system.
No, please don't.
If you don't, we need to know.
And if you don't like it, you can say why. With a valid reason.
Grant doesn't understand the way the world works these days.
In my mind, shooting off a text on your phone feels easier than clicking on a link on Twitter to go to a Google form and then fill it out and then hit submit. But I could be way off. But just saying it out loud or just picking up the phone, old school.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't mind
I'm
the
a
old
frequent
system.
caller on 97.
Like, and we're not gonna out anyone. We're not gonna be like, oh, like this like if we recognize you.
I will
I'm
call
like,
you
oh,
next week with a question. How about that?
I like that. Because also sometimes it stinks to like type everything out. If it's like a long hypothetical, talking through is so much easier.
Look at Doug hit a 3.
Yeah, he's come along.
Good guy.
Okay. That's the
the
end
show.
of episode 111. Cheers to episode 111.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you, Grant.